himself a crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover. It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Time for the crossover, powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha and everlevelconcrete.com. Hello, Matt, Josh.
Hello.
How is it going today?
It is going. It's going very well. I'm very excited today. It's going to be a great show.
Excited. All
I'm
right.
very excited. It's going to be fun. Fun. I had a great weekend. Fired up.
All right. Dude, let's go.
I did. I had one of the better weekends I've had in quite a while.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it was Friday, phenomenal. Saturday, I did nothing. Saturday. I actually made a new recipe that I think I'm going to add to my repertoire, which is like, I've been trying to find ways to make like ramen fancier.
Put Slap Your Mama in it?
Well,
I was just thinking he had mac and cheese without the entire bottle of Slap Your Mama.
I did ramen, but I added a little bit of peanut butter paste and I made my own little sauce. And then I got like frozen dumplings and I made the dumplings and then I put the dumplings into the ramen.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did like a little dumpling, ring, and then a little ramen in the middle with the broth on top. And then I put some sesame seeds on top of that with some sliced green onions. It's pretty elite. I just took time out of my night on Saturday to be like, let's try this out.
Hell yeah. Throw a bunch of stuff in a pot, dude.
Dude, it was great. And then baby had his first baby shower, which was phenomenal.
Who's baby?
I'm baby. I went to my first ever baby shower. I've never been to a baby shower before.
Oh.
Come
see baby. Baby's home.
So that was fun. I had to ask
baby.
Like a baby shower or a diaper keg or a combination.
It was baby shower, and I had to ask somebody. I go, do I have to bring a gift to this? And they were like, that's the point of a baby. That's the shower part.
Yeah.
Of the baby.
You're not just there to eat some hors d'oeuvres and talk to your friends.
There was a pretty weak selection of food, I would say, at this baby shower.
Did you offer to bring your ramen as a gift for the baby?
No, I did not, but I did bring diapers and a card. They had an open bar though. So they for what they were lacking in the food department, they definitely made up for the drink department.
Look at
that. It was a great time. And then I lost in the Preakness. That was the only down part of the weekend. But the weekend was so great that I even forgot about that.
Doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter that I lost in the Preakness.
I don't even know, again, the sporting event that occurred that this weekend. I watched the PGA on Sunday. That was it. And didn't even think that the Preakness happened. I have no idea who won.
Napoleon Solo.
Yes.
Was the winner of the Preakness.
Cousin of Han.
Okay. We go back to not thinking about horse racing again until next May.
Yep. No, Belmont.
Yeah.
Still got one more.
The Belmont isn't the Belmont this year because it's not at Belmont Park.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I know the Preakness wasn't at Pimlico.
No, they're
both gone.
Even at Pimlico?
Correct. Yeah,
What
they said it's some
happened to Pimlico?
dingy little racetrack in between.
Okay,
Are they-
it was at Laurel Park.
It was a
Are they
disaster.
revamping
It was the
Did
Maryland,
you see that place? It looked like a farm.
The
Are they
Maryland
revamping
Jockey
Pimlico? Or
Yes.
is it just gone?
They're redoing it. Yeah.
Club. Belmont Park was under construction last year, and it continues to be under construction.
2 years of no horsies
So
at Belmont
as
Park.
far I know for sure last year it wasn't going to be a mile and a half. I'm almost positive it's not going to be a mile.
Why were you offended by the characterization of
Laurel Park? What's up with that?
It's just it's not dingy.
Oh,
I mean,
it's dingy. Did you watched it?
I did. It was a fine track.
Why do you have to feel like you have to defend it?
I shouldn't.
Yeah.
I shouldn't.
Yeah,
I
you don't
totally
care
shouldn't.
about
I don't
this.
care. I really don't.
Yeah.
You're totally right. Who cares?
Platcat in the chat with an interesting comment here. Man, if only someone was nice enough to send Matt the winner, the exacta, and hit the win, place, and show.
Interesting.
here's
Then
the-
your weekend could have been so much better.
So that's what
Is
Platcat
Platcat too rich to listen to us now?
that's what Platcat did.
Well, he
Platcat
keeps knowing things.
Platcat told me what to bet, and I love Platcat, but I'm like, dude, I'm not going to take your bets. I already did all my bets. I already did my research. You do your research. Whoever wins, who
I
like.
respect
I think
that.
what he's saying is your research sucks.
Yeah.
No, my research
He's
was
saying I know more than you.
my jockeys were terrible.
Hoof knower.
My jockeys were terrible.
I know hoof.
No. The 5-horse got Boxkin on the rail, and Irad Ortiz Jr. couldn't get him out of it.
We hate that guy.
And then we hate Flavian Pratt.
No,
who-
Irad has been in the
Irad-
game for a minute.
Oh,
Irad's awesome.
Irad's
Irad's
our
like
guy.
the best jockey in the world.
Hey, why do all the jockeys have veneers?
They're rich. So it's like, they go ahead.
Every single jockey has fake teeth. What's up with that?
No idea.
They want to look like the horses?
I mean, doesn't Albert Breer has fake teeth now? And I was kind of taken aback.
Yeah, but I would say of the professions in America or in the world, jockey has like an 86%
Was
rate.
it possible their teeth take a beating while riding all these
This
horses?
is a great point.
It has to be.
They're going at very, very fast speed.
They are. They're getting kicked by horses.
And I don't think they're wearing mouth guards, so their teeth are probably clattering.
No, maybe they
onto each other.
should wear a mouth guard.
Maybe they should.
That could be the fix to get it. But then they just get fake teeth. They all have fake teeth.
You should ask your jockey friend why all of his
I was
jockey
just thinking that,
have fake teeth.
Maybe we bring on Channing Hill as an analyst ahead of the Belmont.
He knows hoof.
So it's going to take place at the
Saratoga
race course this year, the Belmont.
What a disaster.
It was somewhere else last year. I think it might have been at Pimlico last year.
The Belmont at Pimlico?
I don't remember.
There's no way. They would never.
Yeah, this Triple Crown, these last 2 years of the Triple Crown, we're not going to count as being the Triple Crown because they're not running at Belmont.
Well, they were going to move everyone's seats, but the people complained, so they were like, "Okay, we'll just tear the whole thing down."
Seriously. So that's
what an
a good one,
interesting
Josh.
corollary.
That's a good one, Josh. That's very good. So
if only some decisions like that had been made around here.
And then now in a couple of years, like they're just going to eliminate the Preakness probably and make the Belmont like the second race, and then have a different third race because they don't want to race horses.
Why doesn't
6 weeks?
Is somebody the Rose Bowl and they just don't want to move? Why are we kicking Preakness out?
Well, people all of a sudden just care about the horse's health. We didn't really care about that in the past, and now we really, really do care.
Well, they do
about
like
that.
making money.
Yes, yeah. So
the last 3 years have been at Saratoga.
Yeah. Well, the
3
Belmont?
years.
Yeah.
It's been 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
And this is not like a rotating event. It's always at Belmont Park, unless it's not.
That's why it's called the Belmont.
That is crazy.
Until then, every Belmont since 1968 had been at Belmont.
What a nightmare!
I'm just saying they would move the Preakness, not because I know anything, just because I'm like, well, I do know that the trend of holding out the Kentucky Derby winner during the Preakness has been
nightmare.
Very bad.
What does Platt Cat think? I think is what we do.
No.
I'll surrender this bit. I really don't care. I really don't care. It's for my own pleasure. All right. It's just Preakness doesn't matter. The Preakness is the least mattering of the two races.
Yeah.
The
So it's okay to just lose bets.
It wasn't my fault. I made a great call. It's just my jockeys were dumbasses.
Not
and
Giancarlo's fault.
The pace was fast.
Did you not research the jockeys?
No, I researched. No, I definitely did, but I researched the horses, and they got out to 22-second pace, which is a pretty fast pace. And it's like, this is good. I bet two deep closers who, if the pace is too fast, they'll come in at the very end of the win. And then the pace went from 22 seconds in the first 2 furlongs to 46 seconds.
So you're saying
the next 2
process good,
furlongs.
results bad?
Well, what happened was that
Are you saying Black Cat's like the lady at the office who goes into March Madness pool?
Black Cat got lucky because his horses didn't get pressed.
You are calling Black Cat the
I
lady
am
at
calling
the
him
office.
lucky because he went ahead and those horses slowed down the pace so they could save their energy. And then my dumbass jockeys kept going farther and farther back of the field. So by the time they made their cut toward the win, well, Black Cat's horse is already a furlong away when my horses were 2 furlongs away. He didn't know.
Just like he knew that Betty George Mason was going to be in the Final Four that one year.
Black Cat got lucky. I made the good bets.
I think Betty knows ball and Black Cat knows puck or
hoof.
Sorry.
Nobody's ever called horse racing hoof before you two idiots.
We just did.
And it's a thing now.
We just did.
So
can't wait till the Belmont at not Belmont.
I love that I say I had a great weekend, and then you two just delve into the one thing that did not go well for me during the weekend.
You still had a good time. You enjoyed yourself watching.
Well, not this that's on the screen right now.
My favorite sporting event. I thought you were a
Oof.
big White Sox fan.
No,
There were people at his school that were White Sox
No, but
fans.
you were like you're like a.
I think he tolerates them.
Yeah, you're like a Chicago one for all guy. Like when the Cubs aren't playing the
They
White
were
Sox.
playing for a World Series. You're rooting for
Can
the
I be
NL
real?
team.
You're rooting for the White Sox
What's
when
the
they're not playing the
Chicago
Cubs, right?
equivalent of a J-sker?
I want my friends to be happy, but I'm gonna be real with you.
Oh, I want my friends to be miserable. Why would you want your friends to be happy?
Because I got a lot of friends that are Sox fans, but I'm gonna be real with you. I've been very nice to them. They were not nice to me in the group chat, and I might be.
So you're gonna start hating the White Sox
I might be
now?
anti-Sox again. Matt McMaster made his hay on Twitter in 2017 by hating on White Sox fans like that. Like I had to abandon.
What a corner!
Yeah, like I had
what
to.
was Hay in 2017?
Oh, like going after like their minor league prospects and like looking up their minor league prospects and how they're doing in like Birmingham and how they were doing in Charlotte and like crapping all over them and like making arguments against Yohan Moncada and how he's going to be a bust. Who was right? Matt McMaster. Just one of those things where I was a mega Sox hater. There was a guy called Shy Sox Fan Mike. And he was like,
you were pretty fired up about the Jose Quintana trade,
dude. I was like,
you were like, these prospects that we just gave up are dirt.
They're dirt. They're nothing. They're going to be terrible. Eloy Jimenez, mean Eloy strikeout,
nice red batting gloves.
Yeah, exactly. So I was a mega Sox hater, and then we started beating the Sox so much that I kind of felt bad, and I was like, they don't matter to me anymore. And now they beat us yesterday, and now they matter again.
How does a Southsider insult you as a like? What's the insult sound like?
I mean, they just say that we don't have real fans and that we're just a tourist attraction and there's not legitimate.
That's pretty good.
There's not. Well, I argue with at least we have people who show up to our ballpark.
That's true.
You know, like White Sox fans.
At least you have a ballpark worth going to.
Exactly.
True.
Like another thing too is that like White Sox fans say all that about the Cubs, but they are the most fair weather fans ever because when the Sox are good, that place is full. When the Sox are mediocre to bad, nobody goes to their games. So
the real problem with that park is they just pointed it the wrong way.
Thank you. They pointed it towards Gary. It's facing Gary, Indiana, the home of the Bears.
I mean, there's a lot of problems with it, but if they would have pointed it,
I'm embracing it.
Maybe they knew. Maybe they're like, we can get a good view of the Bears.
There was a Jesse Rogers article. I think it was Jesse who wrote it on ESPN, where there was an actual like mock-up of what New Sox Park was going to look like, and they were going to make it closer to Camden than what they made it. Like there was like it was going to be a new style, like new style meets old school. It was a beautiful rendering.
Who messed it up? Jerry Reinsdorf?
Yeah. Who do you think did? He goes, I want the United Center, but in baseball form. Is what he decided to do.
This is slightly related to Reinsdorf. I was looking through the people that are going to be heavily involved in the labor discussions. Jerry Reinsdorf is going to be one of them.
No, we're going on strike.
The Monforts,
yes,
the famous Monforts of the Rockies. Like it doesn't look great for baseball starting on time in 2020.
They just doing it by seniority.
They have a committee for it.
Yeah,
the oldest, worst people.
Seriously, that's
the people that you
like.
least would want on the committee seem to be on.
Who can sit there, argue, and not move from their position for hours on end.
That's true, man. It's impressive what they do.
Are the A's owners a part of that as well?
I don't think they were mentioned. No.
Okay.
No, those guys are too young.
Yeah, they got new owners. I forgot.
Oh, those guys suck, but they're young. I mean, they're terrible, but they're young.
What's worse, to be suck and to be old, or to suck and be young?
Suck and be young.
I think it's worse when it's the old guy who bought it, and then it goes down to his family, and they're less interested in it being like a thing.
Yeah,
they just want to run it as a business, which it is not.
Also known as
basically, they want to run it as a tax shelter.
Like in a lot of cases, the only reason that the old person held on to the team is to give it to their children who are just going to screw it up.
But the old person wanted to win and spent money on it.
Yeah.
See, I would rather have an owner that's just down the middle, because I don't also want the kid who is too into the business as well.
Yeah.
Who's too
into
into
take the Mark Cuban over the opposite every time.
I like my guy. My guy's good. John Sherman, he rocks. He's way better than David Glass.
Cleveland minority owner as soon as he left.
Absolutely.
Downhill.
I am good.
See, he cared. He wanted to build a team.
He does. He wants to build a new ballpark, and people are like, no, I love the parking lot in the middle of nowhere.
Who are these people?
I don't know. I hear it.
You hear from them and they're like, I don't get it.
Who are these people?
Coffin
Go back to your
fine.
cave.
You can have a much better stadium.
My guy's great.
I got
owner rankings of the people in this room.
Oh, I'm losing every time.
I take the Wilfs over everything else that I like.
Okay.
They genuinely care. They want to win all of that. The Dolans just bury it.
Terrible.
Bury it under the
cheapest
under
people
the
on
yoga
earth.
studio.
Josh, who's your Titans guy? Do they have a people?
Well, Connor, I don't know if you knew this. Women can be owners too.
Who's the Titans? woman, or family.
Amy Strunk.
What does she do?
Would she be on women throughout history?
There is a prerequisite that
She
needs to be
has
hit.
made a cultural impact. She fired Mike Vrabel. I don't know if you know this.
Well, honestly,
But
keeps
why?
looking better for her.
What did she know?
What did she know?
Great question.
My owners are by far the worst.
Your other owners are publicly traded, right? Like who
No.
own the Braves?
No.
Yeah.
Liberty,
Oh, the Braves are publicly traded.
Yeah. Which makes their whole thing interesting
Yeah.
relative to everyone else.
Oh, did you buy some shares like Joey in the
No.
Packers? Okay.
You don't have a certificate.
Those are shares.
I would never.
That's definitely real.
I would never. Yeah, Matt, you got us all beat. Those guys suck.
Reinsdorf, terrible. His son, even worse. Rocky Wirtz. So what Mike described, I have with Rocky Wirtz and his son Steven Wirtz. So Rocky passed away, and then Steven is. The
And who
owner
do
now.
they own?
Blackhawk.
The Blackhawks, and they're awful. And then Tom Ricketts is probably the best owner in Chicago by far, bar none. And he actually
Yeah, I mean,
Has
the
to be.
Bears ownership group. Is,
well,
Yeah.
so once again, that's an ownership group. Where it's
terrible.
like that's
it
another.
is really bad for you. I love it.
I have three ownership groups that are all going to be passed down to a son who is an idiot, or was passed down to a son who is an
Yeah,
idiot.
that's the problem.
And both sons care way too much, and both sons are bad at their jobs. And
Is
then you
there
got
any
Tom.
way where we could somehow detect whether the patriarch of the family is going to have an idiot son before we let them
Imagine
purchase
being
the
a
team?
Jets fan right now, and your idiot son wants to make decisions based on matting rating.
How do we get rid of the idiot sons?
We need like an oracle.
There's too many of them.
We need like a
I
written
say
prophecy.
we need some sort of a tracker. It's like this person we cannot allow to buy the team because they have the high potential to have an idiot son.
Yes.
And
That would be the list I want from CBS Sports. A list of the
Yeah.
idiot sons.
idiot sons of the owners.
Like an idiot scale.
Yeah.
So we get a scale, and then we're ranking where these people are at.
And like
So-
some people who don't have kids or like don't have kids who could potentially run a
Yeah.
franchise yet, like
Yeah.
this person would be high potential for an idiot.
The
son.
Dumont's family son Clark had a 22 ACT. He's tracking to go to a very low university and be a dumbass.
I don't even know if you can learn from that. I mean, you just really have to vibe it out.
Should we just give the owner Wonderlic test right there?
It's not about how smart
Yeah,
they
it's-
are. It's
I think Mike Reinsdorf's I think Jerry's kid is an idiot. I think he just straight up is an idiot.
yeah, that could be true.
I
I don't
think
know. I
George-
don't have enough information. there.
George is a great guy. George McCaskey, great guy.
they could be great,
Uh,
shrewd business people. It doesn't make them good owners.
I don't know what George is good at. I couldn't tell you. I think George is really good at reffing IHSA football games, which he's a referee. He loves being an official.
That's weird.
His pastime. Like he reffed an IHSA.
He owns a team,
women's-
but what he really owns is the field when he's out there calling.
Dude, there was a video of him like in like a hat and stripes and shorts,
Is he a white hat?
reffing a girls' flag football game.
Is he a white hat?
I don't believe he is. I don't even think he's reached the pinnacle
He
of
probably doesn't have the
refereeing.
time.
Wow.
So
What a
I
journey.
think this would be a great. Now, would you like to have a Carly Ursay where it's like she's very, very into it? She's got a headset on the sidelines.
So not enough information there yet.
Yeah,
but
got to wait and see how that.
Apparently,
plays out.
she was in.
headset on the sideline is a really bad vibe, though.
It's a terrible
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah.
I do not want
I
my
just
owner
want
having a
owners
headset.
who want to win as much as I do. Like that's all I want.
I want owners who
But
will
if,
sure
if I
that-
could somehow not have a headset on the sideline, I'd like that.
Right. I would prefer.
I
that.
prefer that. Thank you. I
Do
think
you want
head-
Arthur Blank where he's down there wanting to celebrate after every win? Is
Ah.
that like because he wants to win?
Yeah, he seems like he's cool. Like he kind of cares.
We
But
should-
he's also kind of weird.
Yeah. He feels like he's a character out of a.
You
Borat.
want to so
Yeah.
like the
I'm gonna let
perf-
the results speak for themselves. The results are terrible. I'm out on that guy.
what is the perfect owner? Like the puts a lot of money in, cares a lot, but you see them 3 times a year. Is that what we're classifying them
Could
as?
be. Who's
'Cause
the
Jerry-
the Dodgers ownership group right now?
See, if I,
You never talk about them. All
It's
they
quite
do is
the-
spend money.
It's
and-
quite the balance.
Creighton
Yeah.
guy.
who's the Baltimore?
Oh yeah, Walter. Yeah,
Who's the
the Dodgers.
Ravens owner who we never see? I forget his name.
no idea.
Ravens.
There's unhappiness with that ownership group too.
Ravens owner is Steve Biscotti.
Mr.
Bichetti?
Biscotti.
Bichetti, something.
Now the Biscotti sounds right.
Yeah.
Biscoff
Never seen him.
cookies. Delicious.
Probably is it Stan Kroenke?
Yes,
Kroenke.
That's probably one of the higher
Not Zach
ones.
Kroenke's dad.
Not Zach Kroenke.
No.
Yeah, but he
No,
pissed off-
Kroenke, he owns everybody though. That's not even fair. He
Yeah.
owns the entire NHL and NBA.
Same thing with
I
the
mean, that's
Ryan-
part of it here is that it's such an exclusive club that it
And somehow not the Rockies, who Rockies fans are just dying to not have the Monforts own.
and they're getting the Monfort.
this
They're
So
getting
much-
Dad, who's got the sons involved.
So much Monfort and so much idiot son.
This Ryan Smith guy though, like owns everything in Utah. He owns the Jazz, he owns the Mammoth, he owns BYU
See,
basketball.
that's not good. I don't want one guy to own all
I
my
want
teams.
you don't want the
Crumble.
division there.
Yeah.
And you don't want the thing where one of the teams exists to funnel money for the other team.
Oh,
Definitely.
really? You don't like that idea? You don't
Didn't
like
seem
that
to
at
go
all?
well with John Henry and that whole group.
No, it hasn't gone well with the White Sox and the Bulls at all. That's it. I think Jerry could not give less of a crap about the White Sox. Could
Yeah,
not
but then
care
he
less.
kept doing dumb things with them, like hiring Tony La Russa.
Yeah, but
He's a Hall of Fame baseball guy.
there it is.
Remember that?
And then he got a DUI.
I kind of had just burned that out of my brain. Oh my gosh.
But
Tony
it's
La
like if
Russa.
you're gonna not care, fine, but then don't care.
I'm pretty sure
You
it's
can't do anything.
I'm pretty
They
sure
hired
they-
Tony La Russa for a team full of young Latin players that could not be more different than a guy who was accused of just latent racism when he was in St. Louis.
That's right.
Isn't it awesome?
That's right.
Isn't it awesome?
I thought you weren't a
Don't-
White Sox guy.
No, that was fun. That was when they were good, and I was like, "This is so dumb."
They were about to be good, and then they
They
made
were
Tony La
terrible.
Russa.
And then
They
Yerman
made sure
Mercedes
after
hit a
the
grand
2020
slam, and it all
success,
went
they were never
to
finding
crap.
success again.
And then they basically hired the entire Royals organization.
Yeah,
before that.
What a great idea! He
Well,
was-
it's kind. I mean, look at him now. Chris Getz.
who I totally forgot who the manager was for the Sox. Who they hired the bench coach?
Yeah,
what was his
Pedro
name?
Grafal.
Yeah, Pedro.
He was a poor soul because somebody had to die for the sins of the last several years.
Pedro had a very famous. This is a leak that Pedro told them when they were on the cusp of being the team that lost the most games ever. He was like, "Hey, guys, don't be that team." That was his pump up speech. Just don't be that team.
I don't
And
think he
people
was
were
probably
very-
prepared to be a manager. He was a
He
very
wasn't at all.
beloved bench coach with the Royals. Like he was.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a thankless opportunity. Is
yeah,
what it is.
it's just a tough ask, tough spot for him.
You're basically there to try to help a lot of young people grow up in a sport, and most of them aren't going to be involved. for
What's
your-
What's Pedro Grafal up to right now? We're
Probably a bench coach for the Mets or something.
Plus, he had to coach Tim Anderson.
briefly, yeah.
Very brief.
The Jackie Robinson of baseball.
God, where are you at now,
Give
Tim?
me someone who's famously knocked out. That's who Tim Anderson is for me.
That is a great.
Where
one.
is old Pedro?
Where is
Grafal?
Rugnit Odor while you're at it?
Oh my God.
What a great time. that
Pedro
was.
Grafal is currently
What a crossover. Where's Pedro Grafal?
This is
he
what the
also
people want.
served it doesn't say where he's at right now.
Well, it might be nowhere. Poor
While
guy.
you're thinking about this,
Where's Don Wakamatsu?
did you consider wearing your new shoes today?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I did not consider
When
well,
will
you
they be
showed them
busted
to
out?
enough people.
Whoa, happy shoe year. Oh, that's right. You got more shoes
I
on
did.
Friday.
I did. I think
Matt had to just swallow his tongue for something.
nothing at all.
Well, it's just that so many people saw the shoes already, and you haven't worn them once.
I didn't see him. I heard about him.
Josh wants to see.
I
them,
would
will
love
you?
to see him.
I
I haven't
mean,
seen him either.
He described them. I know what
They're
they
just-
look
looked
like.
down and it
they're
looked
just
kind
He's
of
the
talked
original.
about his shoes to you.
Yeah.
They were $65. It was such
Yeah,
a good
that's
deal.
that's the angle
You
he
have
was
talked
focused
more
on was
about
the
shoes
deal.
in the last week than anyone that's ever been on the cross.
My mom would love you.
Dude,
You're like
I
so
just-
obsessed with
But
the
he
deal.
has talked specifically about this transaction a lot
Because it
to
was-
a lot of people.
because it was
to
the-
people he doesn't even know.
Air
love it.
Jordan. She asked to see. All right, she asked. She asked
Of
what's.
course she
asked what's in the box. All right, and I
Is
and
there
I
any
what's in the
possible reason
box?
that she might have asked us?
I don't know if I don't know. I
Should
don't
have
know.
just said their shoes.
And I go, there's shoes, and she's like, oh, and then I was like, here, look at them.
Of course you would. Yeah.
And I showed her my shoes, but she asked to look at them. She was
Did,
like, oh,
did your driver on the way over ask to look at him?
I showed them to.
Interesting.
Wait, which driver?
Bigelow.
I showed them to him immediately.
So there was a world where I pick you up because you were just getting driven around town by
I
everybody
can't
on
walk
Friday.
anymore. I can't walk to places.
I pick you up Friday evening, and you never thought, hey, I should bring my shoes out to let Mike Schaefer see these shoes.
No, I did not. I did not think.
So
of that.
everyone else,
Everyone saw the
It's
shoes.
just the Jordan, the original
other
Jordan
drivers.
ones. It's just the red, white, and black Jordan ones, and they were $65 a
Now,
shoe.
how does this work in terms of the shoes that you need for walking?
Those are currently being sent over to me from home.
Did you get an orthotic in there?
Not in the J's.
I did go to Walgreens.
Because I believe in the initial conversation about all of this, you needed less focus on style and more focus on
comfort.
utility.
Yes,
And then you went and bought J's.
Yes.
Get ready to talk New Balance,
Yeah.
buddy.
And then I bought Jordans, but they were $65. I mean, it was like, how can I pass up on this great deal?
You could have used the $65 for something else, probably.
No, these were.
That was the perfect use of the $65.
I couldn't find a better use of the $65.
What else did you get?
Tees, pliers for fishing.
Well,
That's right.
length of
Tees.
tees are you playing?
Tees. He was showing people the tees.
I
too.
wasn't showing people the tees.
The golf tees?
I had
Golf
to.
tees.
I had to
Showing
pull out the
people the
tees
Like,
in order to get to the
did you
shoes.
get the hard plastic ones? Or what
No,
did
I
you-
get the
There's like 3 types.
tan wooden ones. The tan ones.
Yeah, like number 2
Were
pencil.
you showing the length of the tees?
I don't even look at the length of the tees. I don't tee up my ball very high. I tee it up pretty low, so I don't have to
Just
get
regular tees.
Yeah, just regular old tees, just $4 tees.
Not a
bag.
tee high, let it fly guy. Huh?
No, if I put the tee high, I'm gonna either get
Pop it
under
up.
it or get over it. Like if I have to put it very low, and then just
If it's higher, you would get over.
I don't
it?
think you're gonna get
I would
over it.
I would mentally be like, all right, the ball's a little bit higher. You got to make sure you pull
Got it.
up a little bit.
That's crazy.
So I tee it up pretty low, and I just smack that thing.
Okay, what else?
Pliers for taking hooks out of fishes, and then scissors for cutting line for fishing.
What a haul.
So
Did you
How
do a
often
TikTok?
do you go fishing?
I went fishing.
I have a pond in my front and backyard.
I went
I didn't
fishing
say.
like 7 times.
I'm gonna fill it with some koi.
I went. I hate
Pete?
koi fish. Koi fish are so useless.
Not in that pond.
All right. Well, Schaefer's gonna have to stock it with different fish then.
I went
Clearly.
fishing. I went fishing 7 times last year in the Omaha metropolitan area. I'm planning on going fishing in Minnesota at some point this year, and then I'm going to go fishing more. And now I've actually found some more spots where I can go fishing. So I'll be going fishing at a more frequent rate. I would
Gotcha.
say though, I probably won't go fishing more than a dozen times this year. I'll probably go about 9 to 10. But I needed.
That's
new
a lot.
pliers.
Yeah, that is a lot of fishing.
It's
for a
over a
grown
long
adult.
period of time. Like you can fish all the way up through, I think, August or September is probably when I would. October would when I would.
You
be like, I'm
considering
done.
during the Ballard trip?
You get a good enough murder coach, you can coach, you can fish year
Exactly.
round.
Thank
I
you.
don't. You know, I've
Set
been.
the hook.
I don't. No offense to the Ballard Strip. The Ballard Strip's incredible. Lake of the Woods is awesome, but I like going fishing to the places that are like 3 hours south of Lake of the Woods. Those are really good places too. Mille Lacs, Gold Lake, Whitefish Chain, good stuff over there.
Is it about the fishing for you, or is it about the
It's a good question. 'cause
Relaxation. and
yeah, is it about the
excitement.
company?
Great question. I would say that for a very long time, it was about getting a very big fish. And then I caught a very big fish. And since then it's
Did
been,
you show everyone the big fish?
it's actually in,
No. We don't care.
it's in an album. Actually, I have it. I can pull it up very quickly.
An album?
It's it's a
You have
photo
an album
album.
of just fish pictures?
Like
Yeah.
a physical album?
That is serial killer stuff.
No, it ain't. Look, you just go down here. If I scroll down, Big Fish, the Big Fish album.
Do you have an autograph
call it
book in
real
there
big
too? And
fish?
it's like Buzz Lightyear.
No, look here, Big Fish right there. I pulled it up in 2 seconds.
I met Lightning McQueen.
That's a big fish.
The Big Fish, a 46-inch muskie, is what that is.
Wow, Matt.
Yeah, I know.
Nice
So
job.
I caught that fish, and then since
I'm
then
impressed.
it's been about being on the
Would you like any
boat.
more appetizers?
Yeah, I'd like. Do you have like the small little grilled cheeses that you can dip into the even smaller tomato?
Oh yeah, we got that.
soup.
Plenty where that came from.
Pretty great. I'm out on hors d'oeuvres though. Hors d'oeuvres.
d'oeuvres.
Yeah,
You're out on them?
yeah. I'm not a big hors d'oeuvres guy.
I'm a big apps guy.
I like
Interesting.
cucumber sandwiches.
That's an hors d'oeuvre.
I know that's the only hors d'oeuvre I like.
He struck me as a little
Crab cake?
a
Okay,
little
so you didn't
smoky
answer.
guy.
So it's not
I
about the
hate-
fish.
I can't stand those. I can't
Really?
stand. Them.
Okay.
No, not anymore. It's just about being on the boat, seeing the sun come down. You know?
Chilling.
just being out there, being
Good.
calm.
The
That's
vibes
good,
of fishing.
There's a difference though. I like it when I'm on a boat. I feel like I'm calm. I'm relaxing. When I'm like fishing off shoreline, I feel like I'm hunting.
Okay.
I feel like I'm climbing through trees and I'm bringing my
I kind of
rod
understand that.
and I'm making sure it's not getting tangled and I'm kind of scouting out the area and I'm like, oh, there's a weed line. Oh,
So
there's
you'd
a
rather
rock
be on a
bed.
boat.
I'd rather be on a boat.
I think
When-
most people would probably rather be on a boat.
When I'm on a shoreline, it's just, it can get a little too intense, where it's like, and it's a real pain in the ass to change your bait if you have to, out there and you got to find a bench and then there are people walking by you and they're looking at you like you're crazy,
Mhm.
I just like being on a boat way better.
Good take.
So that was fun. What a crossover. What a wide ranging crossover.
Matt
Any
McFish.
topics?
That was crossover powered by Everlove Concrete Repair in Omaha at everloveconcrete.com. It is Matt coming up next.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people.
Whose car are we gonna take?
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
That's an absolutely horse crap call. Make room for Daddy. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Chicago is.
This is Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Middays Matt live and roll here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network. Matt McMaster is always joined by Josh Odson on 1620 AM in Omaha and 97.7 The Zone in Central Nebraska. Good Monday morning. Hope we all had a phenomenal weekend. I hope for the people who, and a lot of the people here who are listening to this radio station who had to hunker down yesterday because of the storms, hoping that you didn't suffer any, or if you did suffer any damage to your house or to your home or to your car or anything like that, very minimal. I know we got some more storms rolling in tonight, so I know some people still making some preparations when it comes to hunkering down. Great coverage, though, yesterday that I did watch when I shot at our friends at KETV. Bill Ramby, Luke Vickery, absolutely killed it yesterday. Had a great time watching them break down all the storm coverage. So might be another rolled up sleeve night in store. So hopefully everybody's doing well. You were okay, Josh Johnson? Everything okay over there at that domicile?
Yeah, we were hunkered in the basement watching the city's weather people snap into action, and they did a great job.
It was wall to wall. All the stations across this great metropolitan area were really in on it. It probably
luckily there wasn't a basketball game to interrupt the weather.
No, there wasn't. It was on Amazon Prime is what it was on, which
disgusting.
I once again, I was asking, are they going to be, is Prime going to have the conference finals as well?
I don't think so. I think they are now done, but
absolutely disgusting.
You got a spineless commissioner who, well, for the good of the sport, we will put this on Amazon Prime.
Well, will he be spineless when it comes to Shams Charania spoiling the MVP yesterday? That was something.
I mean, you gotta kiss the ring there, right?
I mean, there are two theories that have been proffered to me.
Oh,
the number one theory is that something that Shams was slighted at some point during the NBA All-Star weekend, and he's been plotting his revenge on the NBA and the league offices, and in tow and plotting that revenge, it was spoiling the fact that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was going to be the MVP, was going to be named the MVP, even though Amazon Prime had planned to have a special announcement during Game 7 between the Pistons and the Cavs. The other theory was that Shams had scheduled for the tweet to go out at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, but he accidentally scheduled the tweet to go out at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time, and so his misscheduling of the tweet actually caused him to spoil.
He's like that runner in Seinfeld. He got the AM PM mixed up.
Exactly. So that's what there was a couple of people on Twitter like, oh, this is why you use military time. You know, those weirdos in your life that use military time and they swear by it. Like
the military people?
Okay, no, not the military people.
Oh, I'm the people outside the military.
The weirdos outside the military
who
use military time. Don't stop it. Don't be like one of those commenters who are like, Matt called military people crazy people. I did not. I said the people who use military time who aren't in the military are crazy people. But anyway, that was something. And then Blake Griffin and Taylor Rooks both decided to take shots at Mr. Shams Charania for going ahead and spoiling that. So that was quite interesting. We do know that leagues can be petty. Do you know who was very petty? The NFL. When they got mad that Kyle Shanahan was very upset about the foreign or the international games at the meetings, at the coaches meeting. Kyle Shanahan was like, I'm not very happy about this. I don't like that we're traveling. I don't like that we're playing the Rams overseas and everything like that. And apparently they did not like that at all, that he was kind of going against the international games that the NFL want to continue to expand on. And so do you know what they did? They said, you don't get a bye week after your international game, Kyle. That's your punishment. So we'll see how petty the NBA might be that Shams spoiled the MVP voting.
Kyle should just be happy that his team is playing anywhere other than that superstation that is destroying his players from the inside out.
I love that everybody else is just coming to the theory that I'm coming to when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers, which is they're old, right? Everybody's waiting. Everybody's waiting for like, what if the Niners go a whole year without being hurt? I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's what happens when you just add more and more games and add more and more mileage to all these important teams.
It's the radio waves that crippled them.
No, I think it's like the 80 games that Christian McCaffrey has played and the 100 games that George Kittle has played, which I think I think this is the year that Christian McCaffrey takes a step back, and then the year that Saquon Barkley is like MVP form again.
Oh.
I think we're just going to do this thing where we go back and forth between which one is a fantasy football bust, you know?
And everyone in America always picks the wrong one.
Yes. Or at least the people who pick the wrong one are very, very vocal about how they picked the wrong
that's
one.
It.
Feel bad for David Johnson. He had a pretty good career as a running back, but everybody just remembers that one time he was like the consensus number 1 overall pick in fantasy and then, got hurt for the entire year, and then everybody was pissed at him. That's what happens in our society. We all obsess over fantasy football, and it affects how we view players, except for offensive linemen, because who gives a damn? So we won't talk about any of that today, though. We'll talk about the Big Ten. There's going to be a lot of Big Ten discussion on today's show because everybody's favorite baseball tournament that takes place in Omaha is this week. It's the Big Ten tournament.
Oh, the Big Ten tournament.
We need to get down to the Big Ten baseball village is what you're about to say?
Yeah. Got to do a root beer taste test. Well, I guess that's for the College World Series. We'll do a sarsaparilla taste test.
Oh,
for the Big Ten tournament.
A Vegemite taste test?
Yeah.
Don't you love that trend when like football teams get one Australian player and then they're like, all right, we're all going to have Vegemite for our social media team.
That's right.
It happens across the country. Big Ten tournament is going on this week. Who knew? Seriously. I mean, obviously we knew. Obviously, a lot of people who probably listen to the station know, but it definitely isn't one of those events that is super marketed that you can see on every single billboard that everybody is fired up to have. It's here. The Big Ten baseball tournament occurs at the home of the College World Series, and I've done some research for you. If you want to go to the Big Ten baseball tournament just tomorrow on Tuesday, you can get in for $7. $7 according to StubHub. First game at 10 a.m. If you want to get in to the Big Ten baseball tournament on Wednesday, just Wednesday, you can get in for as low as $6. You want to get in?
That's less than $7.
If you want to get in on Thursday and just Thursday to the Big Ten baseball tournament, you can get in for $5.
That's less than $6.
And if you want to get in on just Friday to the Big Ten baseball tournament, the day that Nebraska baseball is scheduled to play in the Big Ten baseball tournament, you can get in for as low as $39.
Okay.
$39. You want to be right behind home plate, $126.
Are these just day passes? You just get in for the whole day?
Yeah, these are just day passes. Would you like me to give you the full on, let's do the all sessions tickets. If you want to get in all sessions, May 19th to the 24th, this year, 2026, you can get into section 217 for $144 right now, according to StubHub.
I mean, that's a lot of baseball for that price.
Now, if you want to get into section 211, it'll cost you $516.
Oh,
if you want to get in row 3, section 112, directly behind home plate, every game, ping, of the Big Ten baseball tournament, can you guess how much it would cost you on StubHub? This includes the fees. 3 rows behind home plate every game.
$950.
$2,000.
Whoa.
$800.
Whoa.
$53.
Okay.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Please.
Who in their right mind would ever spend that money to do that?
Maybe a disgruntled softball fan who can't get into the super regional.
Yes, that'll be fun. 3,200 people at Bowling Stadium. Quite incredible for
a lot of them watching softball for the first time.
Some of them. A good probably probably a bigger portion than we want to have at the softball game. Therefore, not the right X amount of time in terms of the seniority that deserves.
Well, they said I was rich enough to buy these tickets, so I'm going to buy these tickets. What did I buy a ticket to?
Jordy who? Was it? Jordy who? Wait.
Everyone's saying Fromm. Isn't her name Ball?
Ball?
I thought it was Jordy Ball.
There it is.
Didn't we have a Jordy Ball on this team?
Wait, there's two Jordys? There's a Jordy Fromm and a Jordy Ball? Where's the Jordy Ball? Wait, Jordy Ball plays first base and Jordy Fromm pitches? Why don't they play at the same time? That's what some people are asking.
That definitely happened in the stands.
No, that did not happen. Get out of here. That did not happen. At least I hope it didn't happen. That'd be a very bad look.
Maybe not in the stands, but on the car ride home.
What happened to that Jordy Ball girl?
Is she hurt? She hurt
again? She can't stay healthy. Jeez, we invested all that money into that stadium and bid all those stands, and everybody had this whole hullabaloo just for her to be hurt 2 out of the 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God we got that Jordy Fromm girl. What a savior. I mean, that Jordy Ball girl better be writing letters to that Jordy Fromm girl because she saved everything that we invested in this team.
Not even the best Jordy on the team. This Jordy Fromm is out playing.
Is Jordy Ball the biggest bust in Nebraska softball history? Jordy Ball only played 1 season. She was hurt for the first season, then she played the second season, and they didn't even get to the College World Series. This Jordy Fromm, though. Best 1-year impact player of all time, Jordy Fromm.
This has been Conversations in the Car.
Yes, a bit.
Segments.
Thank you.
On Middays with Matt.
Thank you. I appreciate you having. That's just people ask me, like, what does Josh do? I just go clarify my statements and make sure that we get to the next segment on time. So we will talk about softball today. Going to be a very interesting matchup between Oklahoma State and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. A matchup that has some local ties in it. We will describe what those local ties are, along with the fact that these two teams have already played each other this year. They were actually supposed to play each other a second time, but that game ended up getting canceled in March. So we will talk about this matchup between the Cowgirls of Oklahoma State. By the way, I am totally anti, like, Penn State. I don't know if this is still the case, but when I announced women's basketball for Penn State, they were the Lady Lions. Okay. I don't like it when we have to put the qualifier of like, this is the female version of the mascot. I just think that's dumb. Just everybody should be under the same umbrella. Cowgirls, though.
That's
totally fine.
A little different, right? Hits the ear.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Well, it's just because they're not cowboys, right?
Yeah.
Like it's different. It's very different.
Yeah.
Like they would be considered cowgirls, right? You can just call the Penn State women's team the Lions. There's no problem with, you don't have to put lady. It makes no sense. But it would be inaccurate to call.
They're not changing the name of the team to the Cow People. Like,
well, you never know.
Yeah, I guess.
You never do know.
That's probably the one spot where it's safe.
Oh, you mean in that part of the country?
Yeah.
Probably good point. PC goes, McHorsey Pro Cowgirls checks out. I mean, why not? So yeah, that'll be an interesting matchup between Oklahoma State and Nebraska. We will talk about Evan Bland had a great article today at the Omaha World Herald. Clap it up for Evan. He used the history of RPI to kind of try and justify where Nebraska might end up in terms of hosting a Lincoln Regional. So we will talk about that. I haven't told Evan yet. We will talk to Evan at some point this week.
Wonderful.
Evan does not know, but Evan knows that. Well, Evan does not know, but I know that I'm going to text Evan. He will join us. We'll also at some point this week be joined by Brett Ciancia of Pick Six Previews and Pick Six Plus. He will be joining us to talk about the progress he's made so far in terms of his preseason college football book. Pretty big week in college football, very out of nowhere in the middle of May. But the Big Ten, they're having their annual meetings. Typically, when the Big Ten has their annual meetings, we don't cover it. We just kind of hear, this is like a couple of leaks, right? Like we just hear, this is kind of what they were talking about. And this was the important parts for Petiti. And some of the coaches at the meetings expressed concern over doing this in comparison to what other conferences are doing. This year, completely different. The SEC did this last year where they invited a bunch of media members to their SEC meetings. I believe, I don't know for sure. I should look this up during the break. I believe in the SEC meetings last year, it's when do you remember when they gave out that reading material? The SEC conference gave out all that reading material to the media members. I believe it was during these annual meetings where they did that, where they basically were like, this is why the SEC is so great. These are the metrics that are used. You should when you're writing about us, you should realize that these are the numbers that make us look like the best conference in football. And then, they've proceeded to not have a national champion representative for the last 3 seasons. So whoop-de-doo. But the Big Ten has decided to do as the SEC does and go ahead and invite notable national media members to their meetings. We already have some quotes coming in from coaches about what their stance is on the 24-team college football playoff, which is a very big discussion. Much like Dwight Schrute and Jim, they've gone ahead, and the ACC and the Big 12 have looked at the Big Ten and said, would you like to make an alliance? They have made an alliance. They're trying to get this 24-team playoff done, but the SEC is holding ground in part because of them and in part because of their TV partner, ESPN. So we will talk about some of the things that we're hearing out of the Big Ten meetings. So we'll talk softball. We will talk baseball. We will talk Big Ten meetings. We'll also talk a little bit of Matt Rule because it's a baby back bitching Monday where we go ahead and we try and predict what we're all going to get mad about this week when it comes to Husker football. I have a pretty good one. I have a pretty good one indeed. We will do that later in the show. Also later in the show, we will be joined by Husker Online and On3's very own Robin Washut to talk all things Husker sports along with Nebraska basketball. Don't forget, if you want to talk to us during the show, you can call us on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Prairie Flower Casino, play longer, win more. 402-951-1620. Call in or text in 402-951-1620. Also, never, ever, ever forget to email into the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. Equitable Bank, they take banking personally. Always picking up on the first ring. Old Man Doug, shout out. And you can always tweet at us on the Zone Twitter feed, which is powered by Liquid Trucking, at Matt McMedia, at Josh Odson. Should be a fun show. We also have a ton of other just tiny little things to talk about. Aaron Rye, hardly knew him. New champion of the PGA.
Oh, yeah, the golf guy.
Congratulations to him. We will talk about Netflix. What a disaster in terms of an event that they tried to put on. Woof, indeed. There was also a couple of trends across the country when it came to the softball regionals that we will talk about. We'll also kind of look more into the Big Ten tournament as a whole. So we will do a lot of things today. We have a phenomenal show for you here today. The Jonas Brothers are here. My God, what a show we have here on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network.
Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Couple of things here before we dive into what we'll talk about in terms of the Big Ten meetings, which pretty interesting development in terms of them following suit from the SEC last year, where they've invited media members to meetings that typically don't have media members. We just hear quote unquote leaks of PJ Fleck wanted this, or Ryan Day was mad about that, or a bunch of coaches from these schools wanted this to happen. We'll actually get full reports, so we'll talk about that in a second. We'll read one from ESPN's Pete Thamel in a minute here, but I do want to hit a couple of just quick little things we won't spend too much time on, but people should know about. Number one, just to kind of bring attention to it, Caitlin Clark had a 20-point 10-assist game yesterday. She has now broken the record for the amount of 20 and 10 games. It's her 12th career game scoring 20 points with 10-plus assists in WNBA history. And do you know who's talking about it? Almost nobody. It's one of those things where this season has been we
were going to get to that Caitlin Clark thing.
This season so far has been pretty indicative of like, wow, they really like Caitlin Clark is still Caitlin Clark, and she's still incredible. And when she wins a WNBA championship and at a certain point in time, we will all freak out about it and we'll hop back on the wagon. At one point, Josh Hodgson, she was one of the, if not the biggest name in all of sports. We were bordering the territory where it's like her and like Mahomes and Ohtani territory of how much we talked about her, how much coverage we gave her, how much we cared about her league that no one, let's just be real, no one really cared about it for multiple decades until she really stepped in and she was the golden goose, and they have done everything in their power to screw it up. And she, once again, did something nobody else has done before in her very short career. And do you know who cares? Not a whole lot of people. So, do you know what I care about, though, is Game 7s. And I've been hungry for Game 7s, but we haven't gotten a lot of Game 7s through the NHL and the NBA playoffs. We haven't gotten, like, any good Game 7s. Like, we weren't, I mean, the Sixers Celtics wasn't that good of a Game 7.
Last good Game 7 was when you and me were sitting right over there. Big Red overreaction, Game 7 of the World Series.
I feel like that game. Well, I'm not too much. That game was one of the best baseball games I've ever seen in my entire life.
It was very good.
I didn't think a lot of games are going to get better than Game 7 of the World Series in 2016 for me. And I don't think anything will because of my emotional connection to it all. But that one, just from a pure craziness perspective, and the amount of memes that came out of our Big Red overreaction, just you and me flipping the heck out when all of that thing was going on. But yeah, tonight, Game 7, Buffalo versus Montreal, should be a fun one. 6:30, I believe, is puck drop for that one on ESPN.
I haven't started what to watch yet. I don't know.
Have you started Odd News yet? We're going to get to it.
I have a story.
You have one? You're supposed to have three.
I got plenty of time.
Okay. No, you don't. You have 43 minutes. That's so much time.
It is.
That is so much time.
You're going to talk about these Big Ten meetings. I'm going to tune my brain out. And
why would you tune your brain out? Don't you want to hear all about their pitch to get 24 teams in the playoffs?
I mean, I am kind of interested in like the actual pitch. I'm not interested in the idea, but I want to know how you're going to frame it and sell it.
I'm going to frame it as it's all stupid. That's how I'm going to frame it.
Well, yeah, but like the Big Ten, how are they going to frame it?
I don't think that they can frame it without sounding stupid, which I
got this great idea.
PJ Fleck said something, and shocker, PJ Fleck said something that you're like, really? Anyway, real quick, Montreal, Buffalo tonight. Super impressed with how Buffalo was down 3-1. They gave up a shorthanded goal to get, to go down pretty quickly. They had to pull their goalie. They ended up scoring 7 unanswered goals in order to win 8-3. And so we have a Game 7 tonight. Massively blown opportunity for Montreal in that game. I thought that game was over once it was 3-1 after a shorthanded goal. I mean, just Montreal looked faster. They looked more physical. They had the crowd behind them. It was one of those things where it's just like you can just see how deflating it was for Buffalo. First 8 minutes of the game, they give up 3 goals. They already have some massive goaltending issues. They pull the first goalie that was in. They put Lukin in after him, and then he didn't give up a goal the rest of the game. Found some momentum, found some good shots, and then they were the one that were putting the pressure on Montreal. getting a lot of fast break rushes. And Dubois, who's been really, really good for Montreal in these playoffs, had a stinker of a game. So should be a fun one. I will predict right now, tonight's game 7 between Montreal and Buffalo goes into overtime. There's my prediction. I think it'll be a spicy one. Both those teams playing for the right to lose to the Carolina Hurricanes in the conference finals. Should be thrilling. You know what probably isn't thrilling? The Big Ten meetings that are currently going on this week, and all of the reports that will come after it. Now, I do think very smart from the Big Ten. Never be afraid to steal like an artist, okay? Never be afraid to look at your competitor and say, hey, that was something pretty smart that they did over there. We can replicate that, and we can do the same thing to have the same effectiveness that our competitor had. And last year, the SEC allowed media members to show up to their meetings. They tried influencing those media members by giving them reading material and telling them all about, how great their conference is, and pushing out narratives and pushing out storylines and trying to get, I don't want to say garner favor, but they definitely were trying to get the headlines that they wanted to get out there from their meeting in order to contrast what the Big Ten wanted to accomplish in order to gain some public favor. It was a smart move by the SEC. And look, the SEC did themselves no favors when it came to not representing themselves in the national championship, but they definitely were able to push a narrative that they wanted to get out there last league meetings they had last year. So the Big Ten has decided, hey, we're going to go ahead. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to try and push the narratives that we want to push. And the narrative that they are trying to push more than anything right now is that they want a 2014 college football playoff. Let's just make one thing clear. They're going, throughout these meetings, they're going to give you a lot of arguments. They're going to tell you about the competitiveness of games. They're going to tell you about the stakes that are held within games in late November. They're going to tell you about, this would help move the season up, and, we can end the season a little bit earlier as opposed to January 25th. They're going to tell you things that, they think that you want to hear, and they're going to tell you things that they're going to try and convince you that it's really good for the game and that, in fact, it's actually really good for your team, right? Because I think the Big Ten knows that a majority of college football fans aren't the ones who are rooting for the teams that are going into the 12-team college football playoff. A majority of college football fans are the ones that don't make that field. And so by communicating to that majority and being like, hey, we're giving you a bigger shot to play in big games on national television late in the year, they hope that that is enough to garner your public support, which might then pressure the SEC into wilting and saying, okay, we'll do a 2014 playoff. Because for those who are just catching up here, it's the Big Ten, it's the SEC who has to make these decisions. Okay. When it comes to the playoff, when it comes to the field, when it comes to everything that we make a decision about, it's the SEC and the Big Ten both have to agree. Okay. And so the Big Ten is hoping that through the media and through public pressure and through the pressure of now the ACC and the Big 12, that eventually the SEC will wilt and say, okay, we'll play ball. We'll go ahead and we'll do a 2014 playoff. Now, like I mentioned, the Big Ten is going to tell you that it's for all of those reasons. And I don't think they're necessarily lying. I think that they believe that, hey, having more stakes for some of our teams in late November is great. Hey, if this is a avenue or a vessel to shorten the season, that's great as well. I think people are on board for that. But a big part, which I'd be interested to see through reporting if they actually go ahead and mention this, is that Fox is the Big Ten's main TV partner. Fox does not have college football playoff games. If the field were to go to 24, that means that ESPN would not have enough room to broadcast those games, which means that that added inventory would more than likely end up going to Fox, who then can broadcast college football playoff games, make more money for Fox, indirectly down the line, could make more money for the Big Ten. Scratch my back, I scratch yours. I doubt that they will mention that or talk anything about it, but that is what a lot of this is going to be about. We want our TV partner to get more games. We're going to use this meeting as a vessel in order to push that narrative and push that ulterior motive. Now, here's the thing that I say, like, my opinion on playoff expansion, and this is not a college football take. This is a general playoff expansion take. If you're going to expand a playoff, it should be under the guise that there are teams who can win a championship that under your current format are being denied an opportunity to do so. And to college football's credit, the expansion of 12 teams has offered that opportunity to teams across the country. The 7 seed in the 2024 college football playoff, the Ohio State Buckeyes, they ended up, or sorry, the 8 seed rather, the 8 seed, the Ohio State Buckeyes, ended up winning the national championship against the 7 seed Notre Dame Fighting Irish. In 2025, yes, it was the 1 seed, the Indiana Hoosiers, who won the national championship, but the 10 seed Miami Hurricanes were the team that they ended up beating in the national championship. And in fact, the 5 seed and 6 seed Ole Miss and Oregon were the two other teams in the semifinals. So the college football playoff expansion from 4 to 12, just based off of simple math and numbers, have proven to be effective because teams that previously were not able to be in the college football playoff, were not able to previously play for a national championship, have either won the national championship or have gone to the national semifinal or have played for the national championship. So if you're expanding based off of, hey, there are teams that under our current format are good enough to win the Natty. They can't win the Natty because of our format. Let's change our format. I am hand up all for, all day, every day of the week. That's what it should be based on. Hey, our format right now, it was for a different time. This current time right now, we have more teams. There's more parity. There are more teams that can win the national championship. We're going to expand, to change with the times in order to give these teams who can win a national championship the proper opportunity to do so without being hampered by a system that was better for a previous decade. Totally cool. This is not that. Okay? Let's call a spade, people. This is not that. We're not expanding the college football playoff pool to 16 or to 24 because we believe that the 15th team in the country or the 23rd ranked team in the country is going to be able to win the national championship. We are going to do this just all in the name of money and all in the name of partnerships. And the SEC, kind of holds the other key. If there are 2 keys that turn the that you have to switch on in order to press the button that expands this pool to 24, well, one key's been turned and one person definitely wants to push that button, and the SEC's got the other key and they don't need to press that button, and I don't think anybody is really pressing the SEC to turn their key and press that button. And honestly, if I'm the SEC, I look at the previous college football playoff pools and I go, am I really that desperate to add more spots? I got Georgia. I had Georgia in 2024. I had Tennessee in. I had Texas in. I had my representation last year in 2025. Alabama got it. Oklahoma got it. Ole Miss got it. Georgia got it. Texas A&M got it. I had 5 teams in a 12-team college football playoff. I did pretty damn good, right? And the SEC's problem hasn't been representation. The SEC's problem hasn't been being able to get in the dance. The SEC's problem has been closing out the games that would get them there, right? Laid an egg against Ohio State when Texas played. Ole Miss was so close to beating Miami last year. But even if you date back to, that Alabama-Michigan game, right, in 2023, Alabama's people forget about that. Alabama's 1 play away near the goal line in order to beat Michigan, who ends up winning the national title pretty easily over Washington. You change 1 play in that Michigan-Alabama game, Alabama probably ends up winning the national championship. And we don't have this 3 years in a row of the Big Ten.
Whole conversation's moot.
Well, you go ahead and you look at that Washington, Texas game, and you change a couple plays in that game. That was a pretty damn close game as well.
Mm-hmm.
Change a couple plays in that game. What do you got? Texas versus Alabama in the national championship just 2 years ago. So it's one of those things where I think the Big Ten definitely has moved up and benefited way more in the NIL era and the transfer portal era than the SEC. And that's just frankly based off results. And I think the SEC definitely has a right to be a little upset that they haven't been able to win the big one or get it done or hold supremacy with a national title over college football. At the same time, it's not like they're floundering or they're out of the dance, or the fact that Texas very well could end up being the number one ranked team in the preseason and potentially the college football national championship favorite heading into the year. So I think with the SEC, they just want to stand pat and go, no, we'll go to 16, but we won't go to 24, and we're going to keep it at 12, and we're totally okay with that. I don't think they're going to get a whole lot of public support in terms of, or public pressure rather. I mean, what college football fans are really going to put on a ton of pressure for the SEC to go to 24? I don't think that exists. Unless I have a completely wrong temperature on the situation, I don't think that's there. And another thing is, too, I want to read this quote from PJ Fleck, because PJ so this is a Pete Thamel article. Pete is over there at the Big Ten meeting, and he's reporting on what's going on. And basically, he was asking other coaches, like, why is it important to go to 24? What are the Ryan Day talked about the importance of moving up the season, having it end in the first week of January. I agree with Ryan. Do we have to go to 24 teams in order for that to happen? No, I don't think we do. But at the same time, it is what it is. You had Jed Fish kind of mention, hey, like, we've won 3 national championships in a row. Like, we are the best conference. Like, we have a lot of, like, our voices should matter because we are the top dog right now in the Big Ten. But PJ Fleck said that, so I'll just read this from Pete Thamel's article. It's got tremendous steam and power behind it, especially from the 18 head coaches in the Big Ten, Minnesota coach PJ Fleck said of the 2014 model, explaining that it would lead to more meaningful games in November. When you do a lot of things that everybody's 18 for 18 for what we should do, I think it speaks volumes. Okay, that's actually, sorry, that was a quote pulled from a Bleacher Report article. More meaningful games in November. The full quote was more meaningful November games across the month. If you're pulling away meaning from some games and adding it to other games, is it really more meaning? Because that's essentially what it would do. The games that, when you go from 12 to 24, there would be a game in the Big Ten between a team that could be a 9 seed versus a team that could be a 16 seed. And you go ahead and you play that game, and that's a very meaningful game, right? That's Oregon versus Iowa last year, right? Or maybe in the future, hypothetically, hey, you have 2 12-team playoff, Penn State's an 8 seed, Oregon is a 13 seed. Okay, that's a very meaningful game in November. That wouldn't have had meaning in the previous eras of college football. You play that game, that's got a ton of meaning. I would rather have Penn State versus Michigan, or Oregon versus USC, or Iowa versus Ohio State. I would rather those games between top 15 rated teams have more meaning than Minnesota versus Maryland, or Minnesota. I'll just be frank. I mean, it's one of those things like, what would you rather have more meaning? Oregon and USC playing for a 12-team college football playoff spot, or Michigan State and Minnesota playing for the 23rd spot in the 2014 playoff? I think we already did that with the 12-team college football playoff. That's what I'm trying to explain. Like, The entire point of the college football playoff was, all right, we've added more meaning across November. And they did that exponentially. Exponentially, they did that across November. But if you add 12 more teams, you're not adding more meaning. You're just taking some meaning away and putting it on other games that, frankly, I don't need to have more meaning. I don't want you to take away meaning from two very high-level programs that are super, super talented playing in November and place it upon two teams that I know for a fact aren't going to win the national championship. If USC and Oregon were both rated in the top 15 and they were going at one another and they end up winning that game, you probably walk out of that game thinking, oh, wow, USC might actually have a shot to make a run of the college football playoff if they can get in. Oregon might actually have a shot at making a run of the college football playoff if they can get in. Do you watch a 26th ranked Minnesota team taking on I'll add them in there because I'm going to add them in there, taking on a 32nd ranked Nebraska team, hypothetically? Do you see that game would have a lot of meaning, right?
We'd love talking about that.
If Nebraska was 32nd ranked and Minnesota was 26, you could do the math and be like, hey, this might be enough to get Nebraska into the college football playoff picture. If you were, watching that game, would you think that the 32nd ranked team in the country and the 26th ranked team in the country, based off of a win between either of them, would that convince you at all that those teams can go and win a national championship game? No, it wouldn't. So this whole conversation that they're going to tell you about, well, we're the best league in the country, so we should make the decisions. And, we've had the last 3 national champions and, we're going to add more games to the meeting in November. It just, to me, it does not resonate. There were some Nebraska was 6-2. Okay? Nebraska was 6-2. And they were playing some meaningful games in November because of the 12-team college football playoff. We were talking about the meaningful games that they were going to play, right? It's just one of those things where it's like I don't need more. We have enough meaning. You can't add more meaning. You're just recycling meaning at that point. Sith goes, will it be embarrassing if we break into the college football playoff for the first time as a 24 seed? No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
God, no.
Embarrassing. I get the sentiment, but no, I don't think it matters at this point right now.
Will there be levels to the accomplishments? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Right? If there was a 24-team college football playoff, Matt Rule cannot hold, I'll just put it this way. There's a 24-team college football playoff. It's not going to be as big as an accomplishment as it was to make a 12-team college football playoff. There'll probably be a tier to it. Sure. If you're a top 12 team in the college football playoff, we probably put that caveat to it, Hey, let's say, hypothetically, Matt Rule makes the college football playoff as the 23rd seed, but then he also makes the college football as the 10th seed. Those two seasons are not alike. Those two seasons are held in very different standards. So no. And by the way, if Nebraska were to finish the season as a 24 ranked team in the country, it'd be their best season in 12 years. That'd be great. You take that as massive progress from the 3-1-0.
A 3-1-0.
There's mediocrity with the 12-team playoff. They now will all be below average teams can compete. Expansion to 24 has now forced less importance of the regular season. I agree. You Nebraska fans, and particularly Matt Rule, have got to be ecstatic now. I can hear it now from Nebraska fans. We are back. Thank you for the 3-1-0. The jabs to Nebraska is what it is, but it's right. I mean, it does make the regular season less meaningful because if you are a 10 seed, right? If you are a 10 seed with 2 weeks to go in college football, unless you're playing two very highly ranked teams at the end of the year, you're probably not sweating it. Your games probably don't have as much meaning as they were if you were a 10 seed in the 12-team college football playoff. Those two games, regardless of who you're playing, would have massive implications, would have insane meaning. Would you rather have meaning for teams that are ranked 10 through 16, or would you rather have meaning for teams that are ranked 24 through 38? Because that's currently where we're going. And none of those teams that are 24 through 38 are going to win the national title. From the 402 from our previous conversations about the Lady Lions.
Oh, hi 402.
He goes, technically, they should be the Lionesses.
Sure, yeah.
At that point, we're kind of just split.
If that's the way you want to do it.
From the 402.
Hi 402.
I have a little fishing boat for sale. Matt could buy it.
Matt McMaster, boat owner.
No, my dad would be pissed.
He'd be like,
you owned a boat before I did.
You know the two happiest days of a boat owner's life?
The day you buy and the day you sell it?
That's right, Matt.
Seriously.
Tip your waitresses. Try the veal.
Or the chicken piccata. This city and chicken piccata, man. What is with you Omahans and the chicken piccata?
There ain't a banquet hall in this city that ain't dishing out chicken piccata.
I've never met a city that liked capers more than Omaha. You guys are all about the capers. I like it. I like capers. I'm not discriminating on capers. We'll probably hit, from Seth, who'll probably email in, are capers back? Are capers having a moment? There's got to be a minor league baseball team that they're the capers.
The capers.
Right? Easily.
I'll look it up, but yeah, there has to be. Minor league baseball team. Capers.
Got to be. John goes, does Matt kill the fish or set them free? Catch and release, baby. Unless they're perch, then I fillet.
The Williamsport Crosscutters every Friday are the potato capers.
Why? That's a good bit.
Yeah.
Should every Friday we change our name to another show?
Oh.
We
could try things and experiment on that one day.
Yeah. Or we just call it Middays with Josh, and I produce the show and you host the show.
Oh, there's an idea.
John would be ecstatic for that.
John loves me.
John with no H, by the way, because we have multiple guys who are named John who are haters. John goes, rule in a college football playoff, even at 24 teams, that is hilarious. From the 402.
Hi, 402.
Matt McFloden and Bowden, not your roommate Dan. Which I don't think is my roommate Dan, because he sent this picture and I'm like, I know Dan ain't out there. He's like a picture of a beer on One Beer Friday because he's a loyal listener, listens to all the show. You should listen to all the shows.
All of them.
All of them. They're all great. They're all incredible. On this show, we're going to take a break. Let's talk about some softball and baseball coming up next here on Middays with Matt on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Probably should take this time to go ahead and text them bland. Ask them if they want to come on the show.
Yeah, he clearly wasn't listening earlier.
We wanted, yeah, we want our guests to ask to be on the show. That's what we want. We
I mean, he would have texted you and said,
definitely
"Yeah,
would've.
I'll be on the show, of course." All
Yeah,
you had
why
to
are-
do was ask.
yeah, why aren't you listening, Evan?
Yeah,
Come on, man. Jeez, I thought we were friends.
really dropped the ball.
Really did drop the ball. Do you know who did not drop the ball? Jordy Fromm.
Matt McSegway.
Dude. Well, Matt Mc just joke right there. That was pretty good. That was Matt Mc play on words, if you will. Jordy Fromm, undoubtedly best athlete on Nebraska's campus currently right now, right? I mean, no doubt. Not even discussion. I mean,
yes, I believe.
I think the only other two that I would say are there, like really there in terms of potentially being competitive, would be Price Sanford and Bergen Riley. Those are the other two athletes that I would have there. But I think after her performance against both Grand Canyon and South Dakota, definitely established her as not only just one of the best athletes on Nebraska's campus, but frankly, one of the best athletes in the country. Nebraska softball for the second year in a row going to a super regional, but this time they will host it. They will host the super regional as opposed to last year having going all the way out to Tennessee to play the Volunteers. They will be hosting this regional at Bowling Stadium. Had 3,200 people at a softball game over the weekend. Softball games over the weekend.
It's a lot of nachos, a lot of pretzels.
Nachos most overrated baseball food, right?
Whoa. I would. Do we rate peanuts anymore? Can you take?
I think peanuts
into a
are. I
facility?
think no. I think peanuts are standard at this point. Like I
Okay.
don't think peanuts is like a. I think peanuts is a ball game snack. I don't know if I would call it a ball. I'm more so going off of like ball game meals, right? Because here's my thing. What type of nachos am I getting? Am I getting the fancy nachos that are like super dressed up, jalapeno, beef, cheese, tomato, sour cream, onion, lettuce with a little bit of queso? Am I getting that?
Are you getting chips and a cup of cheese?
Thank you. Am I getting the Tostitos cup of cheese that I could get at the AMC movie theater?
Yeah.
Now, because
you showed your work.
Because of the variability. If you told me what, like, okay, hey, we're drafting. Let's draft concession foods at a baseball or softball game. Because of the variability, I would not be taking nachos. I would take all forms of sausage before I take the nachos. I love sausage. Polo sausage, brat sausage, hot dogs. I mean, I don't know if we call that a sausage as much as we just call it a hot dog, but you get what I'm saying there.
Yeah.
Not nacho. I'm trying to see if let me go to the text line. I'm sure I got a bunch of angry people in here. Great call by Aaron. Antrell Taylor has won a national championship and finished second this year. He is absolutely in the discussion. Dude is also in the discussion. Axelina Johansson, the track and field thrower.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. Keeps setting records in the Big Ten. Has such an illustrious career. Has done it now multiple years with Nebraska track and field. So, but great call by Aaron. Antrell Taylor absolutely deserves to be in the discussion. But Jordy Fromm, over the weekend, 11 innings pitched, ended up with no earned runs, totaled 24 strikeouts over those 11 innings.
If you're into that sort of thing.
If you like strikeouts. Her counterpart, Alexis Jensen, and her, so they both combined for 37 strikeouts, 4 allowed hits, and 1 run across 21 innings. I think that we all knew heading into the season that obviously Jordy Fromm was going to be Jordy Fromm. Over the year, 19-4, 1.15 ERA. Alexis Jensen has a 24-2 record as well in terms of her wins and losses. But it was always going to be about who is the other pitcher. Like, who is the other, when Jordy isn't pitching, who can pick up the slack and who can fill in those innings. And Alexis Jensen hasn't just filled in innings. She has dominated these innings. And yeah, the offense only scored 7 runs over 3 games, and that's going to have to get fixed, especially with who they're going to be end up playing. But if you are in a regional in the NCAA tournament and you are giving up 1 run over 3 games, going to be pretty hard to lose. Now let's talk about their opponent, Oklahoma State, playing the Cowgirls of Oklahoma State. They played Oklahoma State earlier in the year. They went 11 innings against Okie State. They lost 2-1. Ruby Malin is the pitcher for Oklahoma State, their ace. Her name might sound very familiar to people who might be in and around high school softball in the Omaha metropolitan area because she's from Omaha, Nebraska. She played at Scott. She was absolutely electric against Nebraska on the one time that they played this year. 10 innings pitched, 8 hits, 1 earned run. Over the weekend in her regional, she pitched 16 innings, had 5 earned runs, and 11 strikeouts on the season. She's got a 2.16 ERA, 216 strikeouts over 238 innings pitched. So a local product from Omaha Scott going to be in Bowlin Stadium dueling against another local product in Jordy Fromm and then also Alexis Jensen. It'll be quite the regional between these two very, very, very good softball teams. And it'll be interesting to see how Jordy Ball continues to build her legacy. Jordy Fromm. We did the whole Fromm Ball bit earlier and now it's completely screwed me up. I apologize.
It seeped into your brain.
I'm little
sorry,
bit.
my shenanigans have
totally fine. But it's one of those things where 2 seasons, absolutely dominant, electric seasons at Nebraska. Last year, 1.56 ERA. This year, 1.15 ERA. She's actually pitched 43 innings less this season than last season, in part because Alexis Jensen has just been so good for this Nebraska softball team. Somehow, Jordy Ball went from being an incredible pitcher last year to she's somehow even better this year when you just kind of look across the board. I mean, her walks are super down. Her strikeouts per game are up. Her ERA is down. She's hitting the ball so well. Currently 421 average with 19 home runs. Over her career, she's hit 42 home runs as a Nebraska Cornhusker. Do you know how many home runs she hit as an Oklahoma Sooner?
I don't actually.
0.
Oh, okay.
She
I could have guessed that.
1. Now, granted, 40 at bats as an Oklahoma Sooner. She didn't need to hit for Oklahoma. She's needed to hit for Nebraska, and in the 112 games that she has played, she's recorded over 153 hits. So it's one of those careers where she has made such a massive impact in such a short amount of time. And the conversation about Jordy Fromm will not necessarily be like, all right, they won a regional, and what do they do in the super regional, and did they get to the College World Series and all that type of stuff? Did they win a national championship? Like that will be, especially if they win a natty. Oh my God, that'll be the talk. That'll be the conversation. We'll talk about her legacy. But I think she has the potential for her legacy to go past just winning a national championship. Her legacy could be that she helped establish such great success at such an incredibly high level. And by the way, Nebraska softball, I'm aware, has had success, right, under Rhonda Revelle before Jordy Fromm got here. But 3,200 people at Bowlin Stadium, right? This era of NIL, this era you can invest in these sports and you can, build your team financially and find more talent in those ways. Jordy Fromm has the ability not only just to establish herself as one of the best Nebraska women's sports athletes ever because of her accomplishments on the field and how dominant she was, but also this could be the start of people going, no, this isn't just a Jordy Fromm thing. This isn't just a 2-year competitive softball thing. This is something that we want year in and year out. 3,200 people at Bowlin Stadium tells you that people are yearning for softball. People are yearning for great softball. People want to show up and support it. And
nationwide, I'm sure you'll see some type of graphic today from ESPN that says a record number of people watch the softball regionals across all of ESPN's platforms.
It's just one of those things where women's sports are growing at an exponential rate across the board, whether it be volleyball or softball, the popularity, the investment in it. And Jordy Fromm, obviously, we're going to accredit a lot of her career to her ERA and her strikeouts and her home runs and her wins and her losses. And, what did Nebraska appear in a College World Series? And did Nebraska win a national championship? And that's all fine and dandy. But I think that her impact has an ability to transcend that and to take Nebraska softball, not just to the next level for 2 seasons, but potentially take Nebraska softball to the next level and inspire Nebraska softball to go to the next level for seasons to come. And I think that is a legacy that could potentially be bigger than any sort of hardware that you can put in a display case in Lincoln, Nebraska. So we will follow that. Should be an incredible super regional between Nebraska and Oklahoma State with some major local ties. Coming up next, our favorite segment of the week every single day. We're going to kick off your lunch with some odd news with Josh Oddson.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Josh, yeah, plenty of time for you.
Okay.
Man. Take your time.
Ooh.
Nice and easy.
You think I should?
Nice and tempo, just like Tom Watson. Just find the tempo. Find the rhythm. Here's the rhythm. Here's the rhyme. Come on, boys. It's bobsled time. Or news time with Josh Odson. What do you got?
Well, we go to Busch Stadium. I know.
Yuck.
Bear with me.
Disgusting.
Where Oliver Marmol
Ollie
believes in the no shirt, no problem mantra. His club was boosted to a win over the Royals Friday night.
You need boosting over the Royals?
Exactly.
Really?
And again on Saturday by a group of college players in the right field seats who took off and waved their shirts as they sang, chanted, and drew others into the fray. Marmol loved it so much that he bought tickets for the shirtless revelers this weekend. Last night's atmosphere was electric. Let's run it back this weekend, Marmol said in a social media post. I'll buy tickets for fans who want to sit in the right field loge and bring the energy. This was the Stephen F. Austin baseball team. The Lumberjacks were in nearby Alton, Illinois for the Club Baseball Division II World Series.
That sounds like a bunch of men who would have no shame taking off their shirts at a random game and getting riled up.
Exactly right, Matt. 17 players attended. By the time that a walk-off single was hitting the 11th, the Lumberjacks had other fans and even the mascot joining in on the ruckus. Can you imagine?
I mean, I can't imagine having to do something that drastic in order to beat the Kansas City Royals, personally. But I can imagine that it was probably a great crowd. I did see the videos; it was pretty impressive. I believe the boys from Stephen F. Austin, they were brought down to the locker room.
Oh yeah,
with Ali, and he found them and he brought them down. And so, look, I don't like the Cardinals. Never will like the Cardinals. Hate to say it, man enough to admit it. Pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Pretty cool overall. Good for those boys. Good for the Cardinals. You know, you want to reinvigorate that fan base. You want to reinvigorate, some of the just people going to the stadium and having a good time. And crowds matter. And it seemed like they definitely got energized by the energy that the crowd was giving them. So kudos to Ali Marmol. That was a classy thing. And maybe they'll continue to do it and it becomes the Cardinals thing. That'd be pretty cool. What's our next story?
We go to Idaho where David Rush is a serial Guinness World Record breaker.
Okay.
He was on a Disney cruise.
These people, man.
He has over 300
Get
Guinness
a life.
World Record.
Get
this is his life.
No, get a different life. I don't like this life. Get a different one. What did he do? What did he break? How long did he go? Or how big is his something? Or whatever it might be.
Well, he was on a Disney cruise and he had 11 days of time that he needed to pass. So he decided to break the world record for snapping toothpicks in half. A real skill. In 60 seconds, he was able to line up 100 diamond cut toothpicks and snap. He managed to break 84 of them in 1 minute, handily beating the current world record of 58.
Do you have to snap them one at a time?
I bet doing these stories, I have enough.
Can I tell you something? Why couldn't I beat that?
I'll bet there's both. I'll bet there's a one by one and a most toothpicks
that
broken
so dumb.
At once. Yeah,
I could beat this.
You could beat this?
I'm not going to because then I would become the thing I swore to destroy, which is these fools who spend their entire time breaking these records.
84 in a minute.
That's so easy.
That's over one a second.
You see that? You see it on the screen? I just broke two.
Now they're lined up on a table. You got to walk down that table,
dude.
With your plantar fasciitis, I don't know.
I could shuffle. I can still shuffle with plantar. It's okay. That's such a dumb record. All right. Well,
all right. The final story, the one I really want to get to here.
Okay. We got a minute 45.
This is in Toronto. A homeless deviant who terrorized the city of Toronto with a series of quote-unquote vile poop bucket attacks in 2019 has been arrested and charged with other crimes, police say. A vagrant whose grotesque fecal assaults earned him the nickname the pee-pee poo-poo man.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. What a nickname. The pee-pee poo-poo man. That is Hall of Fame nicknames. Round mound of rebound, Iceman, pee-pee poo-poo man. That is great. So did he get away? Did he get away with it, or did he get caught?
He was caught for his poop bucket attacks. He was seen on cameras throughout the city holding a 5-gallon bucket from a hardware store and smiling ear to ear.
You know what? He does it for the love of the game.
I guess.
That was the same thing with that guy. Like, he won the lottery and then he got arrested for robbing a house for burglary. It's like, clearly it doesn't have to do anything with value. You just love doing it. This guy just loves pooping in a bucket and throwing crap at people.
Yeah.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, should be in jail for a while.
You could probably just not let him out.
I agree. I kind of agree. What a disgusting human. But you know what? At least he did it with a smile on his face. And that's all we ask of society.
That's the pee-pee poo-poo man.
The bar is so low. All right. Let's take a break and talk about more Big Ten. Why don't you? Here on Middays Matt.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
All right, don't believe the tease from my last. And I would. Yeah, I know.
We'll get to it.
I'm pretty good at them. I got a lot of things going right now. First off, rumored 2030, Nashville going to host the Super Bowl. Congratulations to you, Josh
Getting
Hodson.
that new
Tennessee
stadium.
Titans.
Yeah, I can't wait for Cam to play in this home stadium for the Super Bowl. Should be very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely would be a massive home field advantage for that, right? One might think. I'm surprised it took them this long to do. Well, I guess they're getting a new stadium.
Yeah,
so that's why
brand new stadium. I believe this season.
I think Nashville. I mean, that's got to be the next kind of city up to host an ungodly amount of events, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Like we're kind of running dry now. I will say this: I haven't been to an event, and Severe might be listening here, so don't just let me finish, Michael, before you get all pissy at me. Okay. I haven't been to an event in New Orleans. And for somebody who hasn't been to the event in New Orleans, I just look at it as an outsider and I'm like, wow, there's just a lot of events in New Orleans. It just seems like we're always doing something in NOLA. Bear with me. Everybody who goes there, though, loves it. Everybody who does, a college football playoff game or might do like a Super Bowl there, anytime there's a Final Four, like anytime there is a big NOLA event, all of the broadcasters are like, this is awesome. Like this. And
they have the infrastructure
and they know what they're doing
to keep it within a radius. Like you're not sprawled. Like when you go to Dallas, you're sprawled out over an hour.
So if the people who go to NOLA, because I haven't been, but if the people who go to NOLA to the events in New Orleans and who report at New Orleans, if they all like it, then who am I to say that they get too many events? But we've kind of gotten into the pattern of LA, Atlanta, Vegas, San Antonio. We're just sometimes we throw Detroit a bone, right? Like it's just, we're kind of recycling. Oh, Indianapolis over and over and over. We need new blood. We need a new city. We need a new kind of, hub. I think Nashville, which has skyrocketed in popularity over the last decade in terms of being a tourist attraction and has been one of the biggest just bachelor party, bachelorette party, weekend out with the boys, weekend out with the girls type destination. I usually think it's a very, very good play by the NFL to go to Nashville to host a Super Bowl. Real quick, too, speaking about Nashville, PK Subban was on our screen here on
Nashville.
The TV.
Nice. Yeah.
He was a former Nashville Predator,
He
also
was.
a New Jersey Devil, also a Montreal Canadien. His new bit is like judging people's suits and stuff like that.
It's a pretty good bit.
Dude, ESPN, for how corny their bits are, awesome. He's all for it. He's great at it too. Also, too, PK Subban is the type of guy where I don't know what it is about him, but he wears outlandish things and it looks great on him.
He's got just enough wrestler in him.
I agree.
To work well on like ESPN and things like that.
Non-wrestlers who would be great pro wrestlers right now. PK Subban probably pretty high up on the list.
Yeah.
I think that
Stephen A. Smith would be an elite wrestling manager.
No, he wouldn't.
A manager.
No, he wouldn't.
No?
I think he'd be a little
too much?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know who would be a great wrestling manager? Nick Wright.
Oh, yes. Good.
Nick Wright.
Because you desperately want to see now. Like right now, you
want to see him get killed.
Yes,
you just want to see him absolutely bang. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what it is about this guy. I want to see him get punched in the face.
Like, and he'd be a chicken, what manager?
Yep.
He'd be
hiding behind the 7-foot tall guy.
Exactly. But then he would articulate so well as to why his guy is the best and everything like that. He'd be great. That's not the point of the segment. The point of the segment is this. I've been watching. So we're talking about people who like wear outlandish things and who look really, really good. Matthew McConaughey, I would put in that category where
sometimes he's roaming that Texas sideline in a garish outfit.
Absolutely, just like, but that man can wear anything because he's one of the coolest individuals.
Yeah.
And he's coming out now. Look, I looked at Matthew McConaughey's IMDb.
Okay.
And he's been in like Sing 2, and he's done like he's been in some, like he was a voice of somebody in Deadpool and Wolverine, and he's been in some of these some movies, right? But he hasn't had like a true leading holy crap role.
He won the Oscar and quit.
In over a decade. It's just one of those things where it's like he hasn't really had that memorable role in a while. And he's going to have this movie coming out, The Rivals of the Amziah King. Okay? And did it come out already? I mean, I think it was in 2025, but it's coming out soon.
All right.
In 2026. And I think that's going to end up being a really big movie. Here's my thing. I realized that kids who were born recently, right, don't really know Matthew McConaughey other than that guy in the Lincoln commercial or the dude who makes that really good tuna, or he's the guy like that is roaming the sidelines of Texas Longhorn games. Okay. I'm watching Jennifer Gardner on these Capital One commercials. I forgot what she did. I'm going to be real with you. I don't remember. When was the last time Jennifer Gardner did something? Like I'm starting to forget everything she was before she was Capital One lady, before she was like using the Capital One card to like fund her farm.
So
can you explain this to me?
I can. And this is interesting that you bring this up because I am not joking when I say I have watched Capital One commercials and thought to myself, I wonder what Matt knows Jennifer Garner as, an actress or that lady from the Capital One commercials.
I remember her. She's been in my, now she was Electra.
Yes.
So that's where I really remember her from. And okay, forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
She was the mistress in Draft Day with Kevin Costner.
Okay.
She was the salary cap lady. So I do remember her from that. I also
she was in Dallas Buyers Club with Matthew McConaughey.
She was also in a lot of movies.
Sure.
It's one of those things where it's like my mother liked her and I know that she was an actress and I know that she did a lot of great things, but we're getting to the point where it's like, what has she done? Like the kids who were born in 2014, Jennifer Gardner is just Capital One lady. That's all she is.
They're not familiar with her work on the television show Alias, which she parlayed into a movie career and phenomenal success with 13 going on 30.
But when was that?
That was 04.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's just where this is kind of crazy where it's like the stars of yesteryear are now turning into commercial people.
And now if you need a nondescript mom for your family television show.
But even I feel like Marissa Tomei has taken that from her.
Yeah.
Well, why that was a This Week in Women's History.
Aunt May just all of a sudden got a lot younger.
Dude. And they didn't even want to hide it in the movies, by the way. They just wanted Robert Downey Jr. to go ahead and just keep saying how hot he thinks Aunt May is, and he can't believe that she's an aunt. Electra, even I remember her from Electra. She was Electra in the Deadpool and Wolverine 2 movie.
That's right.
But like that doesn't top. She's Capital One lady now. It's kind of crazy to me. Just like how 50 Cent turned into Water Guy, you know? like how many, I mean, I love 50, but like all of a sudden he was Vitamin Water Dude,
What do kids think 50 Cent does for a living?
I don't know.
That's an interesting question. I think In the Club.
But do they know who sing it?
Still hits, right? I mean,
do you think kids who are 10 years old know who 50 Cent is or know MC Hammer is?
Oh, they know who 50 Cent is.
Really? You think
there's
Hammer Time?
There's no chance they know who Hammer is.
But that song is so good. I mean, what did MC Hammer do outside of the one song? Is that a bad question to ask?
No. He was a one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
A comet streaking across the sky.
And then he lost all his money, right? And then he got all his money back by going on a tour by saying he lost all his money, I think is probably how it all happened.
I believe so. I believe you have the facts of the matter correct.
Someone says that Matthew McConaughey's best work is Interstellar.
Sure, but even that was a while ago.
That was 10 years ago. That was 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was in 2014. This movie that he's going to have coming out.
You're in on this movie. Why are you in on this movie?
So let me read you the description of this movie.
Well, how did you hear about this movie?
The first trailer for Matthew McConaughey's upcoming crime drama, The Rivals, Amziah King, has been released. The film premiered at the SXSW. Am I supposed to know what that is?
South by Southwest.
Okay, thank you. garnering critical acclaim and leading to an impressive 97% aggregated rating on Rotten Tomatoes. The description of the film: deep within the backwoods of rural Oklahoma. By the way, Oklahoma having a moment in terms of where we're making our shows and movies.
Okay.
Just saying, Tulsa King, shout out. Deep within the backwoods of rural Oklahoma, charismatic and musically gifted, Amziah King herds a bluegrass playing band of misfits while overseeing the premier honey making operation in town. When Amziah's estranged foster daughter unexpectedly returns, Amziah leaps at the possibility to renew connection and create a family business. But the honey game is ruthless, and Amziah's rivals threaten to destroy everything he's built.
The honey game?
It's about honey. It's about people killing over honey in Oklahoma. Doesn't that sound great? And it's Matthew McConaughey.
It's either going to be really good or really trashy, but good. Right?
I think it's going to be really good. Now, here's the thing. The South by Southwest thing, like the whole critically acclaimed, this Adam Driver movie with Scarlett Johansson. I don't even, what was the name of the movie? What's that called?
Paper Tiger.
Okay. They get the 7-minute standing ovation at some festival that I've never heard about.
Yeah. You got to get over yourselves. Actors.
I don't give a rat's ass how long people who are affiliated to you in some way, shape, or form are clapping for your movie. Okay. We were clapping for 15 minutes for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's Smashing Machine, and we were all talking about how he solved world hunger and he was going to win the Oscar. And then I watched that movie for 5 minutes and I stopped because I thought the acting was embarrassing. I'm sorry. I really don't care. I'm at this point where it's just like I have other people watch the movie and they tell me if it's worth going to at this point. 7-minute standing ovation is not going to get me out of my chair. Pun intended. Fully intended.
Yeah, we got to stop doing that. That's
but some people like it. Some guy responded. Ben, my buddy Ben, responded to me, and he was like, "They always do this for this festival. I don't care. Let's not doing it for this festival."
That's the thing they do at Cannes, and it's like, okay, like a 5-minute standing ovation is just kind of like a so-so movie over there. It's like, can you get it to 10 minutes?
But I don't care if they get it to 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't give a damn. I could not care less.
Nobody's walking up to the ticket counter and going, it got a 10-minute standing ovation at Cannes. It must be pretty good.
Some people are very mad that we forgot to mention Elias, which I don't even, is that
Alias?
Alias?
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't.
It's a television show. We mentioned it. We mentioned Electra. We mentioned, trust me, we got Jennifer Garner covered. There's only about 4 bases.
I was going to say that in the Capital One commercial where she's, I'm Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, she's got like a vegetable farm or something. I
don't know what she's, some Happy Hollow BS or whatever.
I think she actually has like
carrots.
I think she makes like baby food.
Good for her.
Like
that's great.
She owns a farm.
Which is incredible. All I'm just pointing out, it's an incredible shift from like this woman at one point was like, and holy gorgeous movie actress to now she's wholesome mother on the Capital One commercial.
Let's be even more clear and even more frank. It appears as though she might be a saint walking among us. She appears to be the sweetest woman on earth and had to deal with Ben Affleck at his lowest of lows.
That is tough. She's always having lunch in those Capital One commercials.
She is.
She's always having a succulent meal.
Big luncher.
And she's always talking. By the way, I'm a big luncher too. If I was in corporate America, I would be fired for how often I would take my lunches.
Would do so many power lunches
in
like the 15th floor of skyscrapers.
I would be like, it was for the clients.
Yep.
$26,000 worth of sides, Jordy? $26,000?
I had him on the hook, boss.
Did the sides?
I had to close the deal.
Did the sides cure cancer? Yes, the sides did cure cancer.
They could have. I was that close. The waiter spilled a drink.
I'm
messed up the whole deal.
We were one pour of Louis the 13th away from closing this deal, boss. You kidding me? You just had to let me shine, brother. You just had to let me go at it. I just wanted to make that observation because I was watching.
There were a few observations in that segment.
Dude, I was just watching her. I was just like, this is kind of like, I don't know where what she's done other than Electra. Remember Electra? Remember she showed up in Deadpool Wolverine 2 and you're like, whoa, why are you only doing Capital One commercials?
Whoa, they got the Capital One lady.
Yeah, that's going to be really tough when Donald Glover stops doing movies and starts becoming a commercial guy. And then I got to tell everybody what Bonfire is. How that man was one of the best rappers on the planet.
Father Time is undefeated, Matt. It's going to happen.
John goes, hold on now. Hammer's Too Legit to Quit was a banger. Go watch that long ass video and check out all the famous sport cameos, celebrities, etc.
Maybe MC Hammer was a 2-hit wonder.
Juno, did you forget that one?
We did not mention Juno. She was in Juno. I believe she played Bateman's wife in that movie.
All right, this is me being pop culturally illiterate. Someone said, I was just glad Josh finally said Garner instead of Gardner. Is it Gardner or Garner?
It is Garner, no D.
Then why do you have a D in there? I've called her Jennifer Gardner my entire life, and nobody has ever corrected me.
This is very much in the Creighton family with you.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But this is more of a Christian Braun to Christian Brown type deal. Christian Brown, the guard for the Denver Nuggets, spells his last name Braun. That's Braun, but we have to call it Brown. Her name should be Jennifer Gardner. There's a D. I have to ignore the D?
No, there is no D in her name.
No, there is.
There's no D in her name.
Is this a Mandela effect?
Apparently.
Oh, why am I an idiot?
I don't really have the answer for that. We got a team of researchers in the back looking into it. We will report back with the details when we have them. But as of right now, no reason.
I think that's a great time to take a break from this. Middays with Matt at 1620.
Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
I just had a benchmark moment. Shut. Look at stuff. I swear, I thought that woman had a D in her last name. Gardner, Jennifer Gardner.
Nope.
Why did I see? I'm asking the questions. Why did I think that? And then we get a text message from John. We ask that every day, Matt.
Oh no.
We have another text message from our ghost dog.
What up, ghost dog?
Who goes? Laughing face emoji. That's the most Matt McDingling answer ever. There's no D. He continues. I'm on the floor crying.
He's the one who caught it first.
He did. I mean, he's the one who exposed it.
I didn't notice.
Ryan in Delaware goes, your name should be Mark McMaster. Pretty sure that's a long lost relative, if you ask me. This is kind of, you remember that there's a comedian who was with one of the Impractical Jokers guys, and the comedian thought it was Tupperware.
Oh no.
And I think it was Sal from Impractical Jokers was like, no, dude, it's Tupper. There's no B's in it. It's Tupperware. And he's like, oh my God, it's not Tupper. I've been saying Tupper my entire life. He's like, no, dude, it's P's. Like, it's always been Tupperware. That's how I feel right now. That's how I don't feel. This is like Donny Osmond, Ozzy Osbourne all over again. Tupperware. Which, by the way, like, if you say it's a tub of things, right? Like, if you call it a Tupperware, I wouldn't be upset about it. I'd be like, all right, it's a tub. If I say Jennifer Gardner, are you going to go ahead and be like, I barely can pronounce D's anyway. It's not like you could correct it.
The name Tupperware, like, actually makes more sense.
It actually, what's a tup? What's a tup? What do you put in a tup? What's a tup? Seriously. What I know what a tub is. A tub is a nice little box. Jennifer isn't a gardener. She's a gardener.
She is a gardener.
She owns a garden. She talks about it all the time on Capital One. Jennifer Gardner. I'm going to keep going for that. I don't care.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Everybody stop.
Thank you.
Everybody stop.
You're about to throw something over the presses right now.
Tupperware gets its name from its inventor.
Screw you.
The Massachusetts chemist Earl Tupper. He combined his last name, Tupper, with the word ware, a common suffix meaning manufactured goods or items, as seen in hardware or cookware, to brand as innovative, airtight plastic food containers. Tupperware.
You're an ass.
All right, it makes sense.
You know why you're an ass?
Did you think I was going to come in here and be like, wait a minute, there is a D in
I thought you were going to say Jennifer Gardner. Oh,
but that name was taken by the Screen Actors Guild.
Something, and she had to change her name or whatever it was. Or she decided to change her name to, like, insult her estranged father or whatever, some weird Hollywood story there would be.
There's a story like that. There's like 2 Michael Douglases, and someone had to change their name.
Oh, in the Screen Actors Guild?
Yeah.
In the SAG Awards?
Yeah. Now it's bugging me, so I'm just going to... Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's name is actually Michael Douglas, but that name was taken, so he had to change his name.
How did he go from Douglas to Keaton?
He liked the actor Buster Keaton.
Oh, that makes sense. Michael Keaton. What's a better name, Michael Douglas or Michael Keaton?
Keaton is stronger. Right?
I think Keaton is a stronger name. Mm-hmm. Granted, I can't really say it.
You just got to really Brian.
Anything with a TON at the end is kind of tough for your boy. And clearly, I'm now adding imaginary D's to names. So people got mad at me because I wasn't pronouncing letters properly. Now people are mad at me because I'm adding letters properly or improperly.
Just read the card, baby.
What Africa goes, that would be Michael Keaton. So he didn't know. Is there anything from the text line? I'm sure John is currently having a field day right now. John goes, it's also verses, not verse. I've been a lot better with that, by the way. For a ghost dog is still listening, by the way, we do need a ghost dog for tonight. Joe-Yo, I'm not going to do that. Joe-Yo's trying to get me in the chat. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was born pretty recently. I wasn't born yesterday. We'll just put it that way. let's get to our favorite Monday segment of the week.
Oh,
Baby back bitches of the week, where you, Josh Otson, and myself, Matt McMaster, are going to predict what we are going to complain about when it comes to Nebraska football / Nebraska athletics this week. We have been on a heater in terms of people complaining and bitching and moaning and complaining about what this season might end up looking like. I will say I'm a little upset at John Bishop.
whoa.
I told him about BOBBOTW. Baby back bitches of the week. And
What?
Or is it BBBOTW?
Baby back BBB. Yeah.
BBBOTW.
There you go.
And he decided to create HHW. Happy Husker Week. Where he was like, Happy Husker Week, and everything. Counter programming. You can't counter program me.
They'll first of all take it as a compliment. Second of all, they can't keep up positivity on that show for too much longer.
Peterson will start to melt.
Yeah.
So this came across my screen from Washut Football. Bear with me.
Whoa.
Bear with me. All right. Bear down.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Tweeted on May 17th, yesterday, at 4:21 p.m. Nebraska head coach Matt Rule is the early favorite, 11%, to win College Football Coach of the Year next season, per Washut.
11%? Is that what you said?
That's what I said.
Is that the highest in the country? The lowest?
He said, no, the early favorite.
The early favorite. Wow.
Now, my first question would be that. That would be my first question. My first question is that. What? Like, it's not necessarily like
Marcus Freeman's right there. That team's going to walk through.
So
that
here's what I
schedule.
don't understand about this tweet. So Washut goes, head coach Matt Rule's early favorite, 11% to win College Football Coach of the Year. It's funny you say that because if you go and you click the link to their Coach of the Year Washut football bet, Marcus Freeman is the favorite with 7%. And then if you got to scroll down a little bit until you get to Matt Rule, who exists at 2%. So maybe they made this tweet and then things shifted, but this is officially from Washut's Twitter. So I don't know how they're explaining what favorite is, but apparently, according to them, he's the early favorite to win College Football Coach.
Okay.
Now, first off, if you want to go from like a perspective of like how he could win it, if Nebraska were to win 9 games, or win 10 games, which
10, yeah.
Like there would be
What's
a
the
lot of
threshold?
like he does have the leeway. Here's what I'm trying to explain. He has the leeway of he can win less and still get the award compared to other coaches. Like if Dan Lanning or Sark or Freeman or Day or any of those guys were to win Coach of the Year, they would have to go undefeated to do that. Matt could win 2 less games than them.
Right.
And end up winning that award. So I understand it from that perspective. If you're going off, I mean, this is what we do for NFL Coach of the Year, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not betting the coach that we think is going to have the most wins. We're betting the coach who can do the biggest turnaround. And so if you really believe that, hey, the team was younger last year, they can take a big jump, everything like that, if you're really drinking the Kool-Aid, like I explained to me, my Kool-Aid meter is a little bit higher than most people at this point. Yeah, maybe you make that bet. I don't know if I would put too much money on it, but you go ahead and you make that bet. I think if people end up seeing this is what it's going to turn into. I think we are going to moan and whine about Troy Dannon this week.
Troy Dannon. Okay.
Whether or not and I don't know, I didn't like what happened with the softball and not giving priority to the postseason. Or to the not giving postseason priority to regular season ticket holders. Didn't like that. Didn't sit well with me. We'll talk about baseball at 1:00. Baseball is looking pretty favorable at this point, especially if they get what they need to get done at the Big Ten baseball tournament. Looking pretty favorable for them to host a regional, right? The same thing is going to happen there. And that doesn't sit well with me. But I think that he's done, and this is my perspective, he's done a lot and has been able to steer this athletic department through a very difficult time. And I don't think it's a coincidence that they have had as much success across all of these sports while he's at the front. I mean, has he hired any of these coaches? No, he hasn't. And if you want to give only credit to athletic directors who hire coaches, that's your prerogative. I don't really agree with that. You need to keep a culture, right? You need to be able to find financial support. You need to be able to kind of back these guys and back these women and back these coaches and make them feel like they can continue to do a high level job at currently where they are at. And if you look at the results that are on the field, and then you also look at, some of the money that has come in for some of these sports in terms of being able to add to their talent based on the merit they earned from the wins prior, you could say, I think that Troy Dannon has made some difficult decisions that rub some feathers, but I don't think it's a coincidence this athletic department is finding the success that they're having with him at the front of the helm. I think, though, that the more that we have the conversation, I think we're getting to the point where there's just been so much criticism of Matt Rule, and there's been so much criticism of where you think this program should be and currently where they are not, that I think now I'm going to predict this week that there might be some unfair criticism deflected at the man who extended the man that people may not like. And I think that now, because what else is there to, already we've kind of unloaded a pretty big clip in terms of the negativity on Matt Rule, that the points have been made. And at this point, you're just either grabbing low hanging fruit or you're repeating things that have already been said. I think if we do get negative this week, it'll be about Troy Dannon. That is my prediction. I don't think it would fully be fair, but I also think too, the baseball regional, them potentially like winning the Big Ten tournament, I think people are immediately going to be reminded of, the tickets are going to be all pissed. They're all going to freak out. Oh my God. How could you do this, Troy?
It's a logical prediction.
I want illogical predictions from you.
I think this week you got a big super regional Thursday.
Yes, you do.
In Lincoln. Feel like Matt Rule is probably going to show up. You got a big baseball game Friday at the Chuck Box.
Yes. Absolutely.
I think Matt Rule is going to show up. You got state soccer, you got state baseball.
He's going to be at Morrison Stadium.
He's going to be at one of those and just, hey everybody, just trying to watch the game.
Oh my God. And then all the pictures of the right here. Bang, state of Nebraska, two fingers, thumb on the top.
I think the old standard of Matt Rule is doing too much is going to pop up this week. That's my prediction.
This is what this segment is about. Mm-hmm. Mine might be a little bit too logical. Mine might be a little bit too like, things are leading up and some of the decisions that have been made, people disagree with. They'll get mad at Dannon about it. Yours is perfect.
Mine's a late week prediction. Like, I don't know if we could talk about that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like, that's not going to pop until Thursday. Yours could pop this afternoon.
Mine is kind of just a steady roll down the hill of just the snowball as we read more and more articles about Nebraska baseball potentially hosting a regional.
And there's hardly any super regional tickets left for the quote unquote season ticket holders and quote unquote common fan.
Also, this tweet from Kalshi, it's only got 500 likes. What if this thing blows up and it goes everywhere? What if an Iowa account gets a hold of that?
Whoa.
Yeah. Can you imagine the Iowa account gets a hold of that and then blows that up and then all the Iowa fans start freaking out?
I do kind of like that.
That's kind of what I'm counting on at this point. That's
so you brought it to the radio to kind of see if anyone
will bite.
Anyone's got ears on it. Okay. I see what you're doing. You're doing two things at once, and I like
it. Our ghost dog has given us our pick.
Oh.
I don't know if I can say this on the air.
Well, hold on. Let me look at it before you.
I think he's trying to make a D's. Can I say? I think he's trying to make a D's.
You can say that.
Okay. Can A D's nuts plus 100 tonight in Game 7?
Oh, because of our conversations about how I pronounce Montreal.
The Canadiens. Yes. It is the Canadian, but it is now. Look, it's the Habs. You just call them the Habs.
The Habs and the Have-Nots.
All right, Bill Simmons summer segment.
Oh.
Ranking the best logos across all sports. That's not a good Bill Simmons summer segment. Top 8 most intricate sport logos. Top 8 most intricate sport logos.
Okay.
Bill Simmons summer segment. Let's write that down. Let's
Add
put
it to
that
the
in
list.
put that in the Bill Simmons summer segment file. 8 most intricate logos across sports. Canadians would be number 1. Because people don't understand the little H in the middle between the C. They just think it's a big C, and they don't understand the intricacies of the Habs and them honoring their tradition. Right? Nothing very intricate about the Detroit Red Wings logo. It's just a wheel with 2 wings.
Milwaukee Brewers has to be on this list, right?
With the M and the B, the old school one.
Yeah.
Gotta be. There's one school in Iowa that their logo is like the shape of the county. It's like some D2 school or something that I've seen that before. That one's a pretty good. I would say off the top of my intricate sport logo, I think the Philadelphia Flyers is that's pretty interesting, the way that they have the P and the F, but it also looks like something that would fly. That's a pretty good one. We would really have to sit down and think about this one. Something we'll sit down and think about, and we'll talk about coming up next here is, let's talk about Netflix.
Oh, yeah? What are you watching? Did you finish Stranger Things?
I got a beef. No, I didn't watch Stranger Things.
Okay.
I got a beef. I'm kind of pissed off. Why am I watching something that already happened and now I have to watch ads during it?
You people in ads, you get so up in arms about this thing that didn't used to have ads has ads.
That's why it was great. That was the alternative
progression.
ads. I might as well just have stars on cable.
That's how TV used to be.
They were not supposed to be TV. They were supposed to be something different than TV.
To think that it would go ad-free for the rest of your life is lunacy.
Okay, call me a lunatic.
You're a lunatic.
All right, hit a break.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, don't forget about our Green for the Green 5K sweepstakes powered by Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. You can improve your golf game, get better equipment, get a membership, or can even repair the damages due to your miscalculated golf swing. The contest runs until tomorrow, May 19th. Get in on that. I'm currently on the IL right now with
You're on
my
IL?
plantar fasciitis.
Oh no!
Do want to say
You open Wednesday? Are you open? Or
Wednesday?
you can take a Wednesday off.
So I'm not golfing this Wednesday, so we're totally okay. I did win all 2 points I was available to win last week at Tiburon, so shout out me. I think I'm like the second leading point getter on our team this season. So I haven't been shooting very well, but I've been match play,
cup getter,
literally
McMaster,
literally.
Yeah.
So, but I'm definitely on the IL. I'm not playing softball this week. No way in hell. I will be on the couch watching the playoffs. The Western Conference Finals, the Eastern Conference Finals, and the of both NHL and the NBA. We do have a Game 7 tonight, Buffalo versus the Canadiens. It should be very, very fun. Real quick, before we get into what I want to talk about, real quick about Netflix. Jaylen Brown said this yesterday. He called out Stephen A. Smith to retire. Jaylen Brown said, "Tell this MFer to retire because he's the face of clickbait media. Maybe with his retirement, we can spark a movement to have some type of integrity in order to hold themselves accountable." Jaylen Brown, your Boston Celtic for right now.
Yeah.
Very educated man, very opinionated human.
Yeah, he likes letting you know both of those things.
He does have degrees and good GPAs,
That's
and he
great,
is
yeah.
well spoken.
No, yeah, he's
a very well spoken man.
But the problem with incredibly intelligent people is they often let you know, hey, I'm the intelligent one here.
Well, what do you think the insider Stephen A. Smith let Jaylen Brown know? The smart man tells Stephen A. he's smart, and the inside man tells Jaylen Brown he's got what?
Okay. Everybody on this station, for some reason, is fascinated with doing a Stephen A. Smith impression. And I don't know why.
I'm not doing a Stephen A. Smith impression.
No, I never do.
Okay.
But I'm going to do one here because it's one I have practice with.
Go.
You don't want to make an enemy out of me.
Jaylen Brown. I can't do this. This would be terrible.
We shouldn't.
Jaylen Brown, be careful for what you wish for. You really want me to start reporting on that level? You understand? Locker room. How the organization might think about you. How the city may feel about you. How Jason Tatum may or may not feel about you. Sneaker deals, endorsement deals. The list goes on and on. The season is over, bro. You're on Twitch trying to do what I do. Low-key, Smith got him. Like, he tagged him. He tagged him there.
Even if all that stuff on the front end is made up and complete BS and he doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
That last line's pretty killer.
He hagglered him. He did. I mean, like, Jaylen thought he was Tommy Hearns. He was worming around. He was up. He was bouncing. He was feeling good. Old jab. You should retire. You're old. Clickbait. And then Stephen A. clipped him. I mean, that was kind of tough. Now, I wish we could get the full clip because I'm looking at how Stephen A. Smith is saying it, and the clip does not do, or the quote does not do it justice to how entertaining he is moving around and feeling himself when he says all what he's saying.
This is kind of a dated reference, so I apologize.
Go ahead.
But
we love dated references.
A large
on the show.
portion of the audience will get it.
Okay, that's fine.
Stephen A. Smith has morphed into, when he's delivering a take like that, where he's very serious. He's developed into like a hunch, like Montgomery Burns on The Simpsons, where he's just kind of looking down just ever so slightly with a hunch to his back. And it's something I've noticed, and I'm glad that I could bring to the forefront here for America.
He's getting closer to the camera. He gets in a little like
he almost
I want you to hear this.
Yeah, he Jake the Snake Roberts is it, where like if I'm talking very softly, they have to pay attention to me to hear me.
Jake the Snake. Listen something, Jake. I'm sorry, I was trying to do a Macho Man Randy Savage.
3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes, Jake.
That one was better. Do that one. That's it.
3 minutes. And now I'm thinking for Halloween, I'm Marty Jannetty, you're Shawn Michaels.
Okay, I'll
We
take
cool
that.
with that?
I'd
Yeah.
take that deal. Sure.
What are you, Udovich? I'd take that deal. You take that deal, Udovich? Sounds like a damn good deal to me. Let's talk about what's not a good deal. Netflix. I mean, look, I understand the progression, Josh Hudson, that you were talking about. You went from a mailing DVD company to a digital company to a inventory company to original production company to basically a television company. Is that basically the best way of describing it?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the most straight through line, you've evolved, and now you're having live events. And look, I'm just saying, like, if I'm watching a previously recorded event, this should not be HBO or Stars where I have to now watch the ads in order to get this stuff. Okay? This is a little ridiculous. Now, if I'm watching a live event, I have no problem with the ads.
Oh,
that's
okay.
TV.
So, okay, your opinion's a little different than I thought it was.
I'm saying I'm going back and watching something. And I got to watch ads. You already got your ad money. You already did. I'm not watching Stars. I'm not watching on HBO. I'm not watching on any of those cable movie channels.
Okay.
I should be able to buy a subscription and watch what I want to watch that's non-live, however I so please.
I was going to ask, why were you watching a replay of the fight when 8 minutes after the fight ended, Netflix tweeted the whole fight?
Ha!
But you were probably watching the other fights because you're a fight guy.
I was watching WrestleMania. Okay.
Watching WrestleMania.
I was watching a previous WrestleMania.
Okay.
And I had to skip through ads in order to see Brock Lesnar F5 Undertaker 3 times.
Wow. Okay.
Why do I have that event happened 15 years ago?
That's a little different.
I don't know if it's ads with movies. I couldn't tell you.
No.
Do you get ads?
Depends on what plan you have.
See, that's bull crap. No, if I'm watching a previous movie, I should not have to watch an ad.
Well, they're a drug dealer. They got you hooked. First taste is free, and now we're gonna cut. We're gonna cut this drug you love and you need. With commercials, you can pay to have the good stuff. I got the good stuff in the back. I'll go get it right now. You just got to pay me to get it.
The first taste can't be a decade. Okay, you can't fund me for a decade. Can't fund me for 10 years.
You're hooked on it, but you gotta have it. I gotta have it that way.
I'm not hooked on it. This is just the way we do things.
I gotta have it.
What do you mean this is a 10-year ploy?
I've had the pure uncut stuff for a decade now. I can't go back to the cut stuff. Yeah, you're putting baking powder in this Netflix. I know it.
It's chili powder.
Chili, sorry.
Even I've Netflixed that show enough to know the reference. By the way, can we stop doing this, old human fighting thing anymore, please? Please.
You mean like put old people in a ring of some shape together?
It is the annual Netflix old person fighting event of the year. Okay. Last year, well, I'm pretty sure a couple years ago, I don't know if it was them, but somebody did Roy Jones Jr. versus Mike Tyson. Then it turned into Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Now it's Carano versus Rousey. It was terrible. It was awful. Real quick, how far has Francis Ngannou fallen? That man at one point was the baddest man on the planet, the UFC heavyweight champion. It looks like a behemoth. It literally hits physically as hard as a Ford F-150 and is now on the co-main event of Gina Carano versus Ronda Rousey on Netflix for Jake Paul's promotion. What are we doing?
I saw he was on the car. Like I saw a highlight that Netflix tweeted out or like teased it's coming up. And I was like, whoa, okay.
By the way, the most Dana White move of all time to announce Conor McGregor is going to end up fighting during that card when it was going on.
I saw that and I went, oh, that makes so much sense. And, I have a very surface level knowledge of all of this.
Yes, I'll tell you this right now. It is, there definitely is some promotional warfare, which is good for the fight game. Let me just put it this way for the people who like fighting. I don't know how many of you are really listening, but I'm just annoyed by ads, but I'm really more annoyed about the fact that we have somehow been unable to advance or promote anybody within multiple fighting sports who is super young up to a next level.
Not a single star can get over in that sport.
We still keep, pinning our hopes on gates and buy numbers fully based off of people who are way outside of their prime or people who are famous for doing other things outside of fighting.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous and it's
bizarre.
Never. But they're doing it. The problem is, are you doing it for the sport or are you doing it for a number? You're doing it for a number, which is not beneficial to the sport. So
would
we got to hit a break. But
okay.
but
I'll ask you a question during the break.
Ask me a question during the break. Coming up next, though, let's talk about Husker baseball. They're going to host a regional. Evan Bland has a great article about it. We'll tell you about it coming up next.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
And we want to tell you about the Summer Sizzle giveaway.
Oh, tell the people about this. If you are listening, you're very passively, stop.
Let me tell you this one.
Tune in.
Because
Hear my boy.
you like the meats?
I love the meats.
You like a Mediterranean taco?
I love a
A
Mediterranean
Euro,
taco.
a gyro, a gyro. 1620 The Zone. And Arby's are teaming up for the Summer Sizzle giveaway. Turn up the flavor with the Summer Sizzle giveaway. Enter to win, and you could score a combo meal every week all summer long. That's just 13 weeks of hot, delicious wins. No cooking, no stressing, just sizzling bites on us and Arby's. Enter now at 1620 The Zone and make this your tastiest summer yet. Sponsored by Arby's. All summer long.
We've
What a
given away cash. We've given away fabulous prizes on this radio station before. Trips to your dream games that you would love to go to. This
might be the
might
best.
top them all.
So what would your Arby's once a week summer combo be, Josh Hodson? For
Now,
me, it's very easy.
It's summer. You want to go a little lighter. You're not looking for stick to your ribs in the summer.
Whoa, I'm not going light at all.
So I'm going classic roast beef. Give me like a half pound of roast beef meal. A lot of people like the potato cakes. I'm there for the curlies. To each their own.
I'm going with the beef and cheddar combo.
Okay. Classic.
I'm gonna go with that. Now, I will go with the hot cakes as opposed. I'm not a curly fry guy. Not a curly fry guy.
Okay.
It's not an Arby's thing. Okay. I'm not saying like no. I don't eat curly fries at all. Anywhere.
Okay.
No.
It's a shape.
I'm not really a big like alternate fry fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of just go straight cut, crinkle cut. That's all I really need.
Whoa, they have a 1/4 pound chopped brisket bowl, which interests me at this point in my life. Just meat in a bowl. I'll eat it.
I don't know, man. That beef and cheddar, and you get the extra Arby's sauce. Do you know they sell Arby's sauce on the shelves at your favorite grocery stores?
Yes. Oh my gosh, this brisket bowl is on top of white cheddar mac and cheese.
Are you going to be okay?
Are
Are you going to be fine?
I might need a minute.
Okay. All right. Take however many minutes you need. It's going to be fine. Do they put Arby's sauce on top of it?
You can put whatever you want on top of it, baby. It's your bowl.
Oh my God, there's some brown pits on the bottom of the pan.
Oh, it is served with your choice of sweet or spicy barbecue sauce.
Yeah, I'm gonna add some butter or brown bits of the bottom of the pan. Are you gonna deglaze it? Yeah, I'm gonna deglaze the crap out of this pan. I'm gonna put some wine in there, add a little bit of butter, and maybe some shallots to add to the natural flavors. God, that's creme fraiche. That's a South Park episode when Randy Marsh gets on the cooking hotline. It's such a good episode. No one understands ever when I quote it. It's a neat that. Well, I can't tell you my second favorite.
I remember the episode. I do not remember any lines from that episode.
Do you remember the Lance Armstrong spoof on?
Yes, they were all bouncing on a certain.
But a certain person took HGH. Do you remember that?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's my favorite episode. But I can't. People will get mad at me if I say that. So you should just look it up. Anyway, what you should also look up to is Evan Bland's newest article on the Omaha World Herald, detailing Nebraska's chances at making a regional. Now, the reason why I'm referencing this article is because there are some people, and I'm not calling anybody out. This is just kind of how you go about things, right? You go, hey, Nebraska has this RPI. This is the RPI that Nebraska has. In the past, teams with this RPI have missed out on the playoffs or have missed out on hosting a regional specifically for these reasons. Okay, this is why, or they've missed out on hosting a regional, and you're just like, oh, okay, there's 4 9s who have missed out on hosting a regional. There's 3 7s. There's 2 6s. There's been 8, 14s. What Evan does here in his Omaha World Herald article is he actually details why specific teams that were in the top 16 of RPI, why they missed out on hosting regionals, and why Nebraska is away from some of those parts of the resume that hampers their opportunity to host a regional. So this is Evan's writing here. Among 80 post-pandemic regional hosts since 2021, 69 entered selection day with a top 16 RPI. 86.3% of teams who hosted regionals had a top 16 RPI. The snubbed teams included 3 categories. Now, looking here at Evan's categories, there is something to note. There are 4 teams here, RPI 9, RPI 6, RPI 7, and RPI 2. 4 teams that are in the top 10 in RPI that ended up not being able to host a region. Okay. Other snubs were like Dallas Baptist, who was 16th, Duke, who was 16th, Notre Dame, who was 13th. You can kind of you could see, you can make some arguments, whatever. But there are only 4 that were top 10 in the RPI that ended up not hosting a regional. Now, these are the 3 categories. Poor records against good teams. Okay. He's referring to Wake Forest, who had an RPI of 9, Indiana State, an RPI of 10, Campbell, who had an RPI of 13, DBU had an RPI of 16, Oklahoma State, who had an RPI of 14. All of those teams finished sub 500 in quad 1 games. Nebraska baseball, 9-7 this year in quad 1 games. So you would not put them in that category of poor records against good teams. Around 500 in conference games. 2025 Alabama, 13 RPI, Wake Forest, 6 RPI, Vanderbilt, 7 RPI. Alabama went 17-15 in the SEC in 2025. Wake Forest and Vanderbilt went 15-14 in their years. They did not make the regional as high RPI rated teams in 2022. The other category is vulnerable strength of schedule. 2024 Duke, 16 RPI. 2022 Notre Dame, 13 RPI. And Fairfield in 2021, who had a RPI of 2. They went 37-2. They didn't play any top 100 RPI teams. They did not end up hosting a regional despite having the second best RPI in the country. Nebraska actually does have the worst strength of schedule amongst the teams in the top 16 RPI, but it rates 43rd. Duke in 2024, when they got snubbed, ranked 214th. In 2022, when Notre Dame got snubbed, they ranked 261st. So if you're adding up the categories of didn't play well against quad 1 teams, well, Nebraska has an over 500 record against them. Did not play well in conference. Well, Nebraska's 23-7 in the Big Ten and the 2nd overall seed. And 3rd, didn't have a great overall schedule. Yeah, Nebraska is the weakest amongst the top 16 RPI teams, but still 43rd, way ahead of the other numbers, which were, 214th, 261st. So Nebraska avoids kind of those 3 quads of being snubbed from being one of the top 16 teams in RPI and not hosting a regional. There also is, we need to talk about the Big Ten tournament and their new format. So I tried looking. Have you looked at the Big Ten tournament bracket?
I have, yes, a few different times.
Can I be real with you?
Uh-huh.
It's a mess. Okay? It's just a mess.
I get what they're doing.
So I'll explain to you what they're doing.
Uh-huh.
Because last year's setup, Nebraska
last year's was worse, in my opinion.
Nebraska would have had to have played Michigan and Washington in pool play before they could get to a semifinal. Now, Nebraska's just going to have to face one of the teams in that quad that is going to come out of that quad, which would be Michigan, Ohio State, Rutgers, or Washington. And whomever comes out of that pod, whether it be one of those 4 teams, they will be playing their 4th game in 4 days against Nebraska. So while I look at the bracket and it's a mess, and you're like, oh my God, what are all these numbers and what the hell is going on? This looks crazy. Nebraska has a massive advantage in terms of being able to pick up a couple of more victories and maybe even winning the Big Ten tournament because the path is so much easier. Their first game is going to be against a team that is literally on their 4th game when they will be fresh and they will have their best lineup.
There's like a pre-tournament that's double elimination, and then the real tournament, which is single elimination.
That's why this sucker's going from Tuesday all the way to Sunday, brother.
we're protecting our top teams, and
They are, and look,
and
they are,
that's-
and you should protect your
yeah.
top teams. If you're a league like the Big Ten that definitely is lacking in terms of notoriety and ability to get bids like the SEC, and it plays into Nebraska's favor, who has a 23-7 record. Look, I admittedly was a lot closer to following this baseball team when I was in Lincoln as opposed to being in Omaha, and we spent a lot of time talking about this team on KLIN when I was there, and I remember, Will Bolt, Coach Bolt, saying multiple times, our goal is to host a regional. Our goal is to host a regional. Nebraska hasn't hosted a regional since 2008. Been nearly 20 years since they've done that. And there's been some warranted criticism when it comes to Coach Bolt at times and this baseball team. A couple times where it's like you got the meat of the lineup up and you got guys at scoring position. You're like, why are we bunting? Well, that's Bolt ball. That's how they play ball. That's fine. There were moments, I believe it was the 2023 season, where it just seemed like they could not figure out any sort of bullpen roles, where you're like, why do you have this guy pitching here and then the next guy's pitching here, and not a lot of these guys are ready and prepared and know what they're going to end up doing game in and game out. And I think that definitely hurts a team as opposed to knowing what your role is and what you have to do and how you have to execute it. There were, definitely questions at times in terms of roster or in terms of lineup construction. There was, questions at times in terms of handling of red shirts. Like there's been moments and, the questioning of, yeah, they made the NCAA tournament, but do you feel that great that it literally had to come down to a Michigan State player dropping the final out of the game over in right field? Like, don't feel great about that. You didn't feel great about when you had
got to get all 27 outs.
Yeah. You didn't feel great about, you had Max Anderson and Bryce Matthews, 2 All-American players, and you don't make an NCAA tournament. You're asking yourself, why is that the case? It's one of those things, though, where I think we have to take a step back here and say, you know what? This guy had a goal, a pretty lofty goal, a goal to accomplish something that had not been accomplished in a very long time. And he has constructed a team, whether it be through homegrown players, through JUCO, through the transfer portal, and has gotten this team and has coached this team to the exact point where plenty of people looked at it and said, really? You want to host a regional? That's tough, man. That's a tough thing to do. And now they are on the forefront and on the precipice of accomplishing that goal. And so I think that, Will Bolt has definitely been one of the more successful coaches in terms of postseason accomplishments and postseason appearances that we've seen in Nebraska over the last couple of years. But he's definitely gotten his fair share of criticism as well, because there have been seasons in between the postseason success that has not lived up to standards that are, that are pretty, I don't want to say they're high. It's tough to compare Nebraska standards to standards of other teams in the SEC and across the country, but they're not low standards. Nebraska baseball fans certainly do not have low standards.
He set a purposefully lofty goal for his program,
and he might end up accomplishing it.
Yeah.
And it's a hell of a job. A hell of a job by his team, his staff. Constructing this roster full of guys who are older, but also some guys who are younger who have made impacts right away. So let's go to the text line. We have a couple text messages here. 402-951-1620, the Prairie Flower Casino hotline. All these text messages have to do with Arby's.
Okay.
Blake and Kearney, who is listening to us on 97.7 The Zone. We want to say
Central Nebraska.
Hi, Central Nebraska. We love you. We hope you're all doing well from the storm.
Yeah.
Seriously, everybody stay safe. Storms are brewing tonight as well, so hunker down. Blake goes, Matt's best take ever is not being a curly fry guy. Curly fries are ass. Hey, Blake, you and I can have a beer anytime, my man. Seriously. They're not my tempo. They're not my forte. They do something weird with them. They fry them a little bit longer. They put some special ass seasoning on it.
There's a special little seasoning at the Arby's curly fries. Yeah,
I'm just,
for sure.
and I love Arby's.
They're that huge.
I love Arby's. I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I love Arby's with a passion. My dad used to they used to have bottles at the Arby's before they had the packets, and they stopped having the bottles at Arby's because my dad was the guy who would steal the whole bottle and take it home. One day he came back and they all had packets, and they were like, Mike, you can't steal the bottle anymore. Before Connor Happer was stealing the hot sauce at Pancheros, Mike McCasker was over ransacking Arby's in the North Chicagoland area, taking the Arby's sauce. From the 531.
High 531.
Talking about you going crazy for your brisket mac and cheese bowl.
Yeah.
Arby's bowls are okay. So there you go.
Well,
That's one man's opinion.
hold on. Text me back. I got a follow-up question.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. What's
Are
your
the-
follow-up question?
It's sort of like a good thing. Are they? They're okay.
Okay? Or is it?
Oh no, they're okay.
Yeah. Is it? They're okay. Or is it? No. They're okay.
What's the tone? Yeah. What's the tone? What's the tenor?
We have to have the context there.
Mhm.
John goes, Arby's also has mac and cheese bowls with crispy onion rings and brisket. I had it last night
John.
and just sat in their vacant parking lot with a smile on my face, eating the entire bowl. John with an H, by the way.
Oh, different. Okay. John with an H.
John with no H goes,
Oh.
no, to each their own, Josh. Arby's curly fries is the only choice.
Every time I go to Arby's, I will do this. Extra little 4-pack of Mozzie sticks for the drive home.
Wow.
No one needs to know but you and the cashier.
I have a problem with the Coca-Cola at McDonald's.
What
Like,
about
it's
it?
just so much better.
Yeah, it is. It's purposefully
everywhere else.
better. Yes.
And it's just like
They've got the mechanic and
I blame Schaefer. Because Schaefer, that one time, I asked him, did he was like, hey, can you make a breakfast run? He paid me back and everything. So I got free brekkie from Schaefer. But I was like, all right, what do you want, a coffee? And he was like, no, I want a Coca-Cola. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Coca-Cola at 8:00 in the morning. That's a move. Okay. So I go ahead and I was like, you know what? I'll try it. Two Coca-Colas. Since then, it's just changed everything. Where it's just like, I'm just tasting that flavor.
I mean, it's better. They purposefully got the thing and the syrup and with the mix. Can't get it anywhere else. Everybody loves it more from the drive-thru.
This is from Steve.
Hi, Steve.
The only award Matt Rule could win would be the Monday Press Conference Hall of Fame award.
That guy loves a Monday presser.
Dude, he is so good at a Monday presser. Like if we're being real, I'm not saying it sarcastically. Like, I'm being completely honest. Like, he's very good. He inspires me. And he's, the type of guy who inspires his players when he goes and talks to them. I mean, I'll say this. Like, say what you want about the chasing 3 type stuff, and it's funny they didn't post them after losses, which, by the way, I'm just waiting for the day when that would be really funny if one of them came out.
Some disgruntled video guy goes, I've had this on a thumb drive for years.
Well, I don't want it to be like, it ruins the program, but I would just love to see what it looks like after a loss like that. But anyway, from the 531, he goes, it's like, they're okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying.
John goes, I'm with Steve 100%. You didn't have to tell us, John. We have to tell you, we have a very special guest coming up next. He comes on every Monday, but he's of the highest quality. It's Robin Washut from Husker Online and On3 will be joining us to talk all things hoops and just Husker sports coming up next year on Middays with Matt.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Oh my gosh. We'll get Matt back. Don't worry. I believe in him. He's a strong man.
I don't know what happened there. Like I opened a little saliva got in the back of the throat.
Inhaled wrong.
That was kind of crazy. I'm typically pretty good at breathing.
But you're okay.
I'm fine.
It's amazing
I'm okay.
after all those years of breathing, you can make a mistake like that.
I know. I just had a hiccup. Somebody who never has hiccups is Robin Washut of Husker Online and On 3. Is that a true statement? Are you a hiccup guy or no hiccup guy? Do you have a remedy if you do get the hiccups?
I do have a remedy. I do this thing where you take 10 sips of water, like in a row, consecutively, and then you hold your breath for 20 to 30 seconds, and it works 90% of the time for me.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to use that. I don't get the hiccups.
Time you're hiccuping.
I don't get the hiccups. Not a hiccup guy.
Never?
I haven't gotten the hiccups since 2018.
Wow.
I know.
Quite a stat.
I'm incredible at breathing. I don't have problem with my rhythmic breathing, so I don't have to worry about hiccups.
And it sounds like you're a good chewer too, because usually a lot of times you get hiccups when you eat too fast.
You got to make sure that thing goes down into mush when you're chewing, Robin. I mean, eating. I don't know why you're laughing. This is a serious subject. Digestion starts in the mouth. You start digesting things when you start chewing, so you got to make sure that your food is down to almost mush. It's very important.
It's a safety issue too. You know,
it is a safety issue. Great point, Robin.
If you eat too fast, that increases your risk of choking.
Well, I'm pretty sure wasn't there like an MLB pitcher who he swallowed something and he didn't chew it down enough and it like tore his esophagus and he was bleeding in his esophagus, and if he didn't go to the hospital, he would have died. So that happens.
Case in point.
I mean, where are you right now? There's a lot of ruckus going around you.
I'm at the Bagels and Joe coffee shop working on some stuff.
Yeah.
And they've got some smooth classic rock playing right now in the background. So we got some music for this interview.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great place. I mean, what do you go with there? I go with the avocado toast at Bagels and Joe's. It's pretty elite.
Yeah, I love their breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah.
I'm just doing coffee right now. I'm doing the Guatemalan black coffee. High level.
Very, very high level stuff. I typically go with the cold brew Americano over there, but you're a pro of Bagels and Joe's. You're also a pro when it comes to college basketball. I have to ask you this question. Just came across my Twitter feed from Jeff Goodman. It's in relation to a Israeli from a EuroLeague rising star, Yam Madar, who reportedly is like trending to agree to a deal to play at LSU. He has recently made over $1 million playing in the Israel Pro League, and is seeking Division I eligibility to play with the LSU Tigers. How much of a slippery slope could this end up being if we end up saying, hey, no G Leaguers and no NBA draft guys, but we also then still allow guys who play professional ball in Euro to come and play in the NCAA? Does there have to be a catch-all rule in your opinion?
Yeah, but it seems like that's a really difficult thing right now for the NCAA to get control over. They've got enough like internal issues like stateside to worry about. I think that's part of the deal where they do the age cap, because at least that can be a global rule that everybody has to follow, where you can't have some 26-year-old like pro that's been playing in Greece or whatever for 5 years come over and play. So like at least that can help restrict it, but you know, it's just kind of the Pandora's box that they opened right now, to where like there's no guidelines saying that that's against the rules at this point.
Sure.
So you know, it's actually written in the language of the rule book, and guys like Will Wade are going to exploit that as much as possible, especially when they have to rebuild an entire roster through the portal. So you know, I don't even like bat an eye at that sort of stuff anymore, because like there's been plenty of guys. Like, I mean, Illinois' roster was all former European pros. You know, I'm just looking at Nebraska guys. I know Thor played professionally for a little bit before he came over, because these guys, like, a lot of times they go to these schools that are essentially like just basketball factory programs. And so like technically their high school is a semi-pro basketball thing.
Yeah.
this isn't anything new where guys are playing professionally against grown men and then coming to college. The difference is now that you're getting a much older group. Like it used to be younger players that were like playing up. Now you're getting 22-year-old guys that have been, multi-year pros and have made a bunch of money, now trying to act like they're college basketball players. But that's the nature of the beast in the world we're living in right now.
Nebraska's non-conference schedule kind of got released here, playing Lemoyne, Lindenwood, South Dakota, Mount St. Mary's, Fairleigh Dickinson, New Haven, Mary's Seat of the Blind, the Pittsburgh Penitentiary, you go so on and so forth. I say that in jest, but they're going to play Boise State, right? I know the rumors are they're working on another kind of major conference game, and then obviously the game with Creighton. Do you think that as Nebraska gains, let's say hypothetically here, let's play the hypothetical game where Nebraska over the next couple of years gains more and more success and going to the NCAA tournament is less of a novelty and more of a reality and a regularity, may that be, that Nebraska plays some of these tougher non-con schedules that we've seen maybe other teams across the country play? Do you think that's ever in the cards, or is this kind of just Fred's bread and butter? This is his remedy.
No, I mean, this schedule is kind of what Nebraska is allowed to do right now. And what I mean by that is like Duke's not going to play him. North Carolina's not going to play him. Kansas is going to play him because it's too much risk for those schools to play Nebraska. And like the only way that some of those level of programs would even consider it is if they do a home and home series and the first game is a true road game for Nebraska. And Nebraska's already playing at Creighton. They're playing Providence in Connecticut. They're playing in Sioux Falls. They're potentially playing in Kansas City. And so you can only play away from your home gym so many times.
Great point.
To where it's got to make sense. And, maybe winning obviously is going to be a big part of that. The more sustained success Nebraska can have, the more appealing of a draw they're going to be for some of these higher profile non-conference games. But Nebraska is kind of in this purgatory, so to speak, where they're good enough to, warrant playing some better teams, but they're too good for those teams to want to play them. So, it's like it's the good old boys club where like the big name teams only want to play each other in these neutral site games or these like select home and homes. And Nebraska just doesn't have a seat at that table yet, to where a lot of times I know for a fact Nebraska's schedule people have called probably every high major program in the country this offseason. And the ones that even give them a response and don't just laugh at them, are insistent on either playing them in a home and home series where Nebraska has to go on the road first, or playing a neutral site game in the other team's respective backyard. So it's like, Nebraska is not going to push it because they don't need to.
Yeah.
The non-con is what it is. Their Big Ten schedule is more than good enough. And when you add a road game at Creighton, you add Providence, you add potentially Missouri and Kansas City, that is more than enough. And Boise State and Sioux Falls, you don't need to extend yourself beyond to the point where it makes sense. And, maybe next year, so let's say Nebraska goes back to the tournament, wins a game or two again, and it's kind of showing that they weren't just a one-year flash in the pan. Maybe they become a more appealing draw. And then also, you don't have to go to Creighton, and you can have a little more scheduling flexibility with scheduling a home and home on the road to start. Whereas this year, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And I think the question kind of stems from, you look at Boise State, you look at Providence, you look at Creighton, and then, like you said, there might be a Missouri and Kansas City. There is a potential that Boise State, Creighton, and Providence all are very, very good next year. They all compete to be in the NCAA tournament. There's also a potential that maybe they're not the highest quality of teams. I think that probably lands more so on the Providence and Boise State line, just because Providence is bringing in a whole heap of new guys with a new coach. It could go either way, but yeah. When you break it down the way that you break it down, it makes a ton of sense. Do you think they'd ever, though, with the Players Era tournament in Vegas or any other kind of high, super high quality tournaments, you think they'd ever be interested in doing that, or do you have a read on that at all?
Yeah, they'd love to, but they're not getting an invite right now. Because, the reality is there's still Nebraska basketball, and last year was incredible for so many reasons, but they've got a ways to go yet before they become a brand that those types of events want to pursue. And so that's what I kind of talked about. Nebraska's just kind of stuck in a difficult place to where, they're not good enough to play with the bluest of the blood, but they're also too good to where like they need to, those types of teams aren't going to want to play them. So it's a tough spot. And the only way they're going to get out of it is continuing to win and make themselves a more attractive matchup for other schools and for those types of neutral site events.
I think an underrated part of, what happened this year in terms of going to the Sweet 16 was a lot of the guys and a good core of your kind of 7 guys that carried you to the Sweet 16, Cale Jacobson, Jamarcus Lawrence, along with Sam Hoiberg, were developed, in high school. Now, and Jamarcus is a little weird, right? Because he went to Rhode Island, he came back, but you got him from high school, you developed him mostly. He played 3 of the 4 years in college. And that's something that number with Nebraska, especially when they've been successful, hasn't necessarily been that high, especially when you go a couple years back when they made it and lost to Texas A&M. It's almost like none of those guys came from the high school ranks outside of Jamarcus. You got Colin Rice and you got Jacob Lanier. You got 2 guys who, could very well have roles with the team this year, probably on a lower level. Is this kind of the perfect mix that Fred is looking for in terms of high-level transfer guys that they've gotten with also some high school guys they can develop for an extended period of time?
Yeah, you always want balance. They don't want to live in that world again where they're constantly resetting their roster every year with, one and done transfer types, because that's good for the here and now. It puts you in a tough spot every offseason where you're basically starting from scratch. So the ideal scenario is you base your roster around multi-year transfers, like the Price Stanford, Bryce Williams, Juwan Gary type that can give you 2 to 3 years in the program, and that's kind of your foundation. And then you supplement kind of the immediate needs with 1-year transfers, and then build and develop younger guys. And Nebraska's kind of opted to not go all in on top level high school players. Like the 5-star types, because 1, the odds of those guys sticking around for 3 or 4 years is unlikely, but 2, they're really expensive. And in a win now world, with the portal, Nebraska's kind of decided to go with age and experience over potential and youth. So, but at the same time, you don't want, like I said, just a completely senior laden roster, and having young guys that are good enough to help you right away. Like that's the ideal situation, especially when you got guys that like a Colin Rice that they want to be here. Like they are excited about Nebraska, and like you don't have to worry about them shopping themselves around every off season, while you're sitting there trying to develop them to be your future. So it's definitely a balancing act. But having a couple, I think Nebraska's always going to try to go 1 to 3 high school players per class. Now it's going to vary depending on the number of open spots every off season, but usually like the model is going to be the foundation around multi-year transfers, supplement with 1-year guys, and then get 1 to 3 high school kids that are the right fit, that are willing to try to develop over the years and aren't like demanding immediate playing time right out of the gate. Because more often than not, high school kids aren't ready to come play and give you productive minutes in the Big Ten. Those guys are few and far between, and Nebraska is just, they're not in a spot right now to go recruit the one and done freshman All-Americans at this point.
And you're right, especially in this era of the transfer portal age, it's like the starting lineups are only getting older too. Like it's actually getting more and more difficult to have a true freshman come in, unless kind of what you're referring to. You got an AJ Dybanska, you got a Cam Boozer, you got a Darren Peterson, you got someone who's, heads above heels, is a top 10 pick, which because Nebraska hasn't been able, and rightfully so. A lot of teams can't get guys like that. Real quick, before we let you go here, Tunnel Talk. You have your own Tunnel Talk on Husker Online and On3. It's awesome. It's great that we have a just separate Hoops Tunnel Talk that you write. Sam Orm, not official, but we shouldn't be worried about it, right?
No. I actually got asked about it enough that I decided just to go ahead and ask him. And he said it's just a paperwork thing, and he's all in on Nebraska. And it's just, with everybody having their own representation, everybody kind of going through their own process, like I don't know. It's just kind of a formality at this point. He's fully expecting to be on campus for the start of summer workouts at the beginning of June. And it's just a matter of crossing the T's and dotting the I's to get that paperwork all completed. But I did check in with him last week just to make sure that there wasn't any like cold feet happen or anything like that. And he says he is all in as a Husker. He was their first portal commit for a reason, and he will be very much in Nebraska's plans next year.
I only laugh because of how emphatically you said all N.
N. I had to make sure I emphasize the N.
Big time.
That's a fun way to say it.
Everybody's favorite saying. Everybody's favorite guest, Robin Washut, Husker Online and On 3. We will talk to you soon, my friend.
Sounds good, Matt. See you later.
See you. Robin Washut, Husker Online. Coming up next, we tell you what to watch. Coming up here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network. right, Josho.
All right, Matt M.
We have any day baseball today?
Not today, no.
Okay. All right, love. What do we watch?
We are watching Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Spurs, Thunder. Some are calling it the NBA Finals.
Yeah, we didn't break that down today. That was on me.
7:30 on NBC. Spurs went 4-1 against the Thunder this season.
They did. But the one they got their butts with.
That's right. NHL Game 7 on ESPN tonight. 6:30 puck drop in New York for Canadiens and Sabres. Winner plays the Hurricanes on Thursday. Sabres have had really bad home luck this year. I was reading today during the show. They have asked the NHL what would happen if they wore their black and red goat head uniforms in Game 7 tonight, just to switch up the mojo.
Yeah, but do you remember what happened when they wore those uniforms all the way back then, and they were in a pretty important playoff game?
That's what I would think as well.
You want to wear that one? Really? Really? Okay.
I get one to switch up the mojo, but that might not be the play there.
Yeah, I think you're the wrong team to do that.
Baseball, Guardians, Tigers at 5:40 on FS1. 8 p.m. on MLB Network, it's Dodgers, Padres. And in the WNBA tonight, the Washington Mystics are at the Dallas Wings, 7 o'clock on Peacock, Matt.
I'm kind of fired up today.
Okay.
Is there anything better than Game 7s in the NHL?
It's the 2 best words in sports.
All right, folks, let's talk right now. I'm going to kill your bookmaker. I'm going to rip his throat out. I will blow this man out. I will step on his throat until the man chokes. Let me tell you how. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. I'm on a roll.
Dude, you got to love dogs, right?
We have a ghost dog today. I will say this. The ghost dog has been privately texting with me on his bets. And so ghost dog, I think, is 2-0 in his last 2. But he's like 4-0 because he's given me some side dogs, some side ghost, if you will. And so he's like side piece ghost dog is probably the best.
So you got the ghost dog bets hitting. You got Platt Cat's horse bets hitting.
But I didn't bet. Look, let me just tell you, Platt Cat, don't send me your horse bets. I don't need your help. I don't need your guidance. I don't need you to do things for me. I can bet my horse. No, don't shake your head like that. I bet the Derby winner. I bet the Derby winner. I bet I am the king.
You're 1-1.
I am the king.
Settle it in the Belmont.
I am the king. All right. Canadians plus 100 against the Buffalo Sabres.
Whoa, Canada lives on.
Yeah, they're not going to win the Stanley Cup. But I will tell you this. You're right. Game 1 of the NBA Finals tonight, Spurs versus Oklahoma City Thunder. I can't wait, though. The NHL Stanley Cup Final will actually be the Stanley Cup Final. Hurricanes, Colorado is going to be absolutely phenomenal, but we get a nice little appetizer between the Sabres and the Canadiens tonight. PC goes, ouch. I'm sorry, Platt. I just have to. He goes, I've made the. How about we call the dead to us list the Joey list?
The Joey list. That's good.
All right. Rebranding from Platt Cat, our guy. All right.
Good work.
USC and the crossover coming up next.